Good morning, Ghana, if you're watching us across Ghana's 16 regions, and good morning to the rest of the world if you're watching us around the world on myjoyonline.com and our digital platforms, Facebook, X Spaces, and YouTube. My name is Sweetie Abochi, and a warm welcome to the AM show.
And I am Samuel Kojo Brace. Now, I want to ask you one question. What has been the reason why you have not made that move for you towards that dream of yours? I mean, what is preventing you from taking that step towards that thing you want to do so much? Fear of failure, I guess. Because people always or mostly do fear that they will fail when they take that step. But you know what? The difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is the bravery for you to master. Whether you fail or not, you still take that step. So look, for the people who have won and you look up to so much, they forgot about the fear of failure. They mastered it. They said, well, take the move. If we fail, we fail. Nobody kills you for that. So this morning, if there's something you want to do so much that you have not begun because you fear you fail, forget about failing. Just do it. When you fail, you fail. But in that failure, you get experience, and that will help you for tomorrow. So take that step and stop being afraid of your tomorrow.
I kind of missed the motivational speeches. And what you were saying reminded me of a song. If there's something you want,
just do it. Yeah.
Anyway, let's tell you what to expect this morning on the AM show. We'll start with the AM news, top of our order, and that includes the business update segment. And after that, we'll bring you AM sports, that for the news belt, about the first hour or so of the show. And then we get into our news review. So Victoria Bright will join us. She's a lawyer and entrepreneur. And James Kwabena Bomfeh Jr., PhD, is the CEO of Census and a lecturer at UPSA. And then we also have Mordecai Kwashi. He's a former MCE for Lejokuku. So these three personalities will be joining us to review the newspapers. And then, right after that, we get into our big stories.
Now, in our big stories today, a new constitution in the making for the NPP following sweeping reforms endorsed at the National Delegates Conference with only 2 amendments rejected. But is the problem with the party one of reforms or unity, as minority leader slams party faithfuls of backbiting and subtle sabotage and urges them to choose unity over evil? We discuss the highlights of the reforms and whether these changes can impact their fortunes in 2028.
Well, this and many more. Across all social media platforms, you already know we are Joy News on TV. And hopefully, at the tail end of the show, when we open the phone lines, you get to have your say. Welcome aboard the AM show. Let's start now with the AM news.
Charlie?
Many thanks for your time here on the AM show. The show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough. Now let's get into our news stories, starting with the Director General of the National Cybersecurity Authority, Divine Selassie Agbeti, has been handed a 2-week suspension following a directive from the Office of the President. The suspension is linked to an ongoing investigation into allegations of misconduct involving the use of a uniformed military officer as a personal bodyguard, an act seen as a breach of the recent government's directives. Now, this comes just days after the government of Ghana announced the withdrawal of military escorts from former ministers, business people, and civilians not entitled to such protection. There's more in this News Desk report.
The suspension of the Cybersecurity Authority boss follows a directive issued by the Minister for Communications. The suspension is part of an ongoing investigation into claims that the NCSA head engaged the services of the military officer without the necessary authorization. A letter signed by the Executive Secretary to the President, Dr. Callistus Mahama, and dated July 15, 2025, expressed the Presidency's strong disapproval. It described the Director General's actions as inappropriate and a source of embarrassment to the government. Government sources suggest that further disciplinary measures could be taken depending on the findings of the internal investigations currently underway. The withdrawal of military protection for former, current and public officials and private individuals was announced in a statement released by the Minister for Defense, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, on Tuesday, 15th July 2025. Dr. Boamah explained that the move is part of government's broader research agenda, which seeks to reinforce discipline, uphold professionalism, and ensure greater accountability within the Ghana Armed Forces.
Away from that, Accra is set to roll out a fleet of electric buses under a new partnership with the U.S. city of Savannah, Georgia. The initiative forms part of ongoing efforts to improve urban mobility and cut down on carbon emissions. The announcement was made by Savannah Mayor Van R. Johnson II during a courtesy visit to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Nana Kwesi Asare-Boateng reports.
The collaboration between Accra and Savannah, Georgia, is beginning to yield real results. The partnership, formalized in February 2024, through a virtual signing ceremony, is focused on deepening collaborations in urban planning, tourism, education and sustainable transport. Accra Mayor Michael Pelpuo Aloti announced during this visit plans for Accra to procure electric Metro Mass buses with support from Savannah-based investors.
You know, if we watch electric buses, one, we're going to have a cheaper fares, and it's good for the environment. And secondly, if we have the electric buses, a lot of people would love to be on it. You know, anytime there's something new, people want to come on it. So I'm looking at that. One, we're going to have cheap way of transport. Secondly, we're going to have what do you call it? We're going to create a lot of jobs. So what I'm saying is that we should look forward to this metro bus that we're looking forward to have. And when my brother here said he has a company called Hyundai that they're in Savannah, that they're going to talk to them. So very soon I'll go there and we'll see how best we can bring them to Ghana to set up. Thank you.
Savannah Mayor Van Johnson, who led a delegation including city officials and private sector partners, expressed admiration for the AMA's leadership and vision. He commended Accra Mayor for embracing bold initiatives that benefit the everyday commuter.
Here, first of all, the reception has been absolutely amazing, and I'm glad to finally meet this dynamic and exciting mayor who has such a vision for the people of Accra. He's bold, he thinks big, and that's the only way things are going to be done.
The visit marks the final stop in the delegation's multi-city tour of Ghana, which included Cape Coast and Kumasi. As both cities continue to explore opportunities for cooperation, officials say the electric bus deal is only the beginning of a broader development agenda. Nana Kwesi Asare-Boateng's report for Joy News.
At Dabie Benyaze AJMA Basic School in the Komenda Edinegwafo Ebri municipality, the future of school children is under threat, as the school has operated without electricity since 1954, a major setback to teaching and learning, particularly in ICT. During a graduation ceremony for pupils and final year junior high school students, head teacher Edna Fidelia Tamaklo appealed to government and stakeholders to intervene and help improve the school's condition. Abigail Salunkroma has more.
94 pupils and students of the Dabie Benyaze JMA Basic A School in the Komenda Edinegwafo Abrim KEA municipality was celebrated during the school's graduation ceremony that marked the next step of their academic journey. The municipal NAT chairman for KEA municipality, Henry Amate, praised the graduation as one of the best and urged parents to continue their support for their children.
The theme for today's program is Little Step, Big Dreams. And the graduation has been a wonderful graduation. This is the best graduation I've ever observed. And we are using this to appeal to parents to continue to support their children, for they are the future leaders. They need to provide them with teaching and learning resources so that the teachers can also support. On the part of the teachers, They are doing very well. We applaud them, and we're encouraging them to continue teaching the children so that they become the future leaders. What we are going to do is to support the teachers with their professional development so that they can move ahead with the 21st century skills.
Since the school's inception in 1954, its biggest obstacle hindering teaching and learning is the lack of electricity. The head teacher of the school, Edna Fidelia Tamaklo, is asking government and concerned stakeholders to come to their aid.
One of the things that makes it a challenge to us at Dabre-Benyazi AJ Basic A here is some of our infrastructure, that is our building, and then chairs for teachers, and then desks for pupils. That is so short that we don't have enough for them to sit on. Another very serious challenge that we have is, since the school was established in 1954, we haven't had any electricity. And so it becomes very difficult for the ICT teacher to support the kids, even if he has a laptop or any desktop to help them learn. And so we are pleading through the MCE and then the Member of Parliament to the President to help us at Dabre here in the Central Region, especially in KEA municipality.
Commenting on parental neglect of young children, the KEA Early Childhood Coordinator, Anna Eliamo, pleaded with parents to make their best efforts for their children.
To the parents who have neglected their little one because they think they are young and they don't need anything at that level, we are pleading with them. They need a lot. They need materials to write, to play, to manipulate in the classroom. So we are beseeching you that anything that they will need in school, you provide for them. They should support them in their education by providing their education needs for them to grow and grow very well.
From Dabre, Abigail Lissel Nkoma reports for Joy News.
So that's Dabre. Now let me tell you about the Labour and Employment Minister, Dr. Rashid Pelpuo, who's calling for urgent reforms in Ghana's education system to equip students with the practical skills needed for local production and job creation. He says the shift to skills-based learning is critical to reducing imports, curbing youth unemployment, and driving the government's 24-hour economy agenda. Dr. Rashid Pelpuo was speaking at a job fair organized by Design Technology. We'll tell you more in this report.
As Ghana grapples with the urgent need to reduce its dependence on imports, the Minister for Labour, Employment and Job Creation, Dr. Rashid Pelpuo, has stressed the importance of reforming the country's education system to meet global standards. Speaking at a job fair, Dr. Pelpuo made a case for the need to shift the focus of education from producing job seekers to nurturing job creators. He noted that by equipping students with entrepreneurial skills, Ghana can significantly reduce its importation of basic goods and empower the youth to produce them locally.
The team captures the essence of our national mission to transform Ghana's youth from job seekers into explorers, equipped to navigate their own business and destinies. Skills are a consolidation and a consolation prize. They are tools for self-discovery and part of Ghana's golden ticket to sustainable development and global competitiveness.
Dr. Pelpuo also announced that the ministry is collaborating with private institutions to support and accelerate the implementation of this ambitious employment strategy.
I believe DTI is essential and critical, and I have just told her that I want to work with her in my ministry to ensure that the Ghanaian youth is helped to think beyond the ordinary.
DTI CEO Constance Wanika said strong partnership between private institutions are key to equipping young people with practical skills for the job market. She believes such collaboration can transform the youth into confident, work-ready professionals.
80% of the jobs in Ghana will come, in fact, almost 90% will come from the private sector. And so as the engine of growth, what we're saying is that private sector is ready to work with government to create that enabling environment for young people to also find opportunities.
As Ghana charts a path towards self-reliance, The push for entrepreneurship education, backed by public-private partnership, offers a sustainable solution by empowering young people to innovate and produce locally. The country takes a bold step towards reducing unemployment and driving inclusive economic growth. And that's his report read to you.
In other stories, board chairman of the Ghana Investments Promotion Center and Governance and public policy analyst, Akwesi Opong-Fosu, has urged political leaders to stop exploiting the youth for political thuggery and instead focus on empowering them with opportunities and resources for a better future. He stressed that meaningful change must begin at the top, with political leaders leading by example, creating a system that prioritizes youth development, job creation, and innovation. There's more.
Speaking at the 2025 Leadership and Government Lecture Series organized by Crossfire Ghana in collaboration with the Tertiary Education Institutions Network TAIN of Ghana Communication Technology University, Mr. Opong-Fosu emphasized the urgent need to address Ghana's leadership crisis by instilling values of integrity and truthfulness in the youth.
We have to rid ourselves of all that, especially of political violence and thuggery. These are things that we have to bury with the election 2024 and the massive endorsement for change. I hope you are understanding of what we're trying to drive across. We need to do things differently and endear our leadership style to the citizens. Now citizens are very much discerning. Voters are discerning. They are enlightened.
Echoing the call for action, lead convener of Crossfire Ghana, Nana Osei-Tutu, encouraged young people to be proactive, developing relevant skills and strategically positioning themselves to thrive in an ever-evolving job market.
The issues has been, I've not gotten anything. I've not been sorted. I've not gotten anything. Sometimes they call you and you ask them, can you prepare your CV and give it to me? Then they get angry. That's why should I go and prepare a CV when campaign did you ask me for my CV? But then we cannot put you at a place that you are not qualified. You understand me? You should have an interest. You should know what you can do. It is not about the fact that your party is in power, so you should be sorted and be sorted. Just be sorted at where? You should be qualified. So we also have to be educating ourselves, advising the youth. You see, yes, your government is in power. Yes, you campaign for the party. Yes, the party will have to sort you out. But the reality is that you should be qualified. And it doesn't also mean that go to the ministries and go and work. At least you can farm, you can do so many things. And that is what we should be encouraging. That you want to do business, I want to do this, okay, SME support, let us support them to also do something. Those are the things that we should focus on.
The event, themed A Conversation on Resetting the Nation, aims to equip young people with the tools, knowledge, and motivation to take an active role in governance and national progress.
Well, that does it for news stories in and around the country. Let's get into our business update now with Samuel Kujo-Brace.
Well, let's do the business updates now. And Minister for Energy and Green Transition, John Abdul-Rashid, has said government is actively renegotiating terms with independent power producers to achieve a balanced arrangement that benefits both the state and private stakeholders. Speaking at a high-level forum on Ghana's energy sector hosted by the Africa Center for Energy Policy and the Open Society Foundations, Jinapor reflected on the early challenges of his tenure. Despite these initial hurdles, the minister expressed optimism about the future of Ghana's energy sector.
We are renegotiating with some of the IPPs, and we believe that under the leadership of Ben and Co., who are spearheading that agenda for us, we'll be able to come to some very, very favorable terms with the IPP, so we can have a win-win situation. We are also working on our gas infrastructure as transition fuel. We are well aware of Ghana's energy transition, And we believe that as the world is transitioning, gas will serve some good purpose whilst we roll out a lot of renewable energy. And it's not for anything that President Mahama decided that he would add green transitions to the ministry. It's because he wants us to focus more and be heavy on renewable energy. So we are putting in place a lot of reforms. We've decided that henceforth, when it comes to procurement of power, we want to do that through competitive process. The days when the private sector just bring their terms and dump it on us are over. We want to set our parameters and ensure that we benefit from that.
Well, away from that, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority says it is committed to strengthening public-private partnerships as part of effort to deliver world-class services to Ghanaians. Speaking at To Joy Business at the inauguration of the authority's new ultra-modern Center for Licensing and Vehicle Registration, Deputy CEO Foster Asante emphasized that such collaborations are crucial for streamlining and expediting the licensing process.
Located in the prime area at Ring Road West in Accra, the center established through a partnership between the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority and VFS Global aims to provide a comfortable, efficient, and convenient environment for applicants seeking DVLA services.
If convenience was a human being, I believe you could have touched him or her. It's very convenient, and I think services here are a bit faster than the traditional centers. Looking at the area and where it is situated, I think it is strategically positioned. It may increase vehicle registration beyond a threshold of 60% and more.
Head of Sub-Saharan Africa at VFS Global, Alok Singhal, said the conveniently located center will offer a more personalized experience and is equipped to handle high application volumes with expedited processing times.
To finally, achieve this because we wanted to showcase the kind of partnership that we have with DVLA in order to provide, convenient access to the Ghanaian citizens.
Well, that's all in business, and in fact, in the AM News, sports is up next here with Muftau Abdullah.
Let's do sports now on the AM show. My name is Haruna Mubarak, and as part of efforts to promote healthy living and support wellness through sports, the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, will participate in this year's Joy Sports Invitational Tournament on August 9 at the University of Ghana Stadium. My colleague Muftau Nabila Abdullah has the rest of the story.
Fantastic thing, probably it's about time we escalate it a bit further. My thing will be to encourage all Ghanaians, especially those from the corporate world, that we can't just work without having a little bit of fun. Sometimes you need this kind of opportunity to interact with people, network, and and make things happen. And so I'm really looking forward to be part of this. I feel very proud to actually be part of it. I want to invite each and every one of you to be part of this year's Joy Invitational Tournament 2025, which is happening on August 9th. Trust me, you got to be there, because we all need to keep fit to enable us to have a healthy country. I'm going to be there. I'll be part of the aerobic move, and of course, I also kick some balls around.
It is not every day that the Chief of Staff of the Republic takes time off the corridors of power to lace up his sneakers for a fitness challenge. But for Julius Debra, sport is more than competition. It's about health, wellness, and building stronger bonds between people. Values that align perfectly with the ethos of the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. On July 17, when the Joy Sports team, led by the Joy Brand's General Manager Fifi Kumsin, visited his office, the conversation went beyond the ceremonial. It became a reflection of healthy living, leadership, and the power of sport to unite. That meeting
sealed his decision. The Chief of Staff will join Ghana's business and corporate leaders for the Joy Sports Invitational on August 9 at the University of Ghana Stadium. But this wasn't a sudden eye-opener. Every week, Julius Debra is already leading by example. His routine, early morning walk with friends. No fanfare, no cameras, just feet hitting the ground, conversations flowing, and wellness in motion. On July 19, he was joined by many of his close companions on one of these walks, which stretched nearly 2 hours. Afterward, he opened up about what fuels his passion.
Generally speaking, it's always better to try and exercise, burn out the calories, and then be strong. What we normally do is that because most people don't exercise, we wait and then we get ill and go to hospital. That's curative. But we are of the view that when we exercise, we prevent or we avoid getting sick.
For him, exercise is not a luxury, it is a necessity for the body, the mind, and for the future. His vision is to take this walking culture beyond Accra into communities and eventually across Ghana's regions.
Well, the truth is that President Mahama told me one day that how about we even escalating this nationwide and then encouraging people to exercise. In fact, I've been waiting for him to start because he brought up the idea. And that, he exercises a lot. But we're looking at having a national platform where we say, hey, countrymen, instead of we sitting down to get ill, why don't we spend 1 hour daily, 1 hour every weekend to exercise vigorously. It could even be through aerobics, could be through just walking. And so we're looking at doing it. It's all part of the research agenda. We don't want, as a country, to wait and then we start getting ill. In fact, research has shown that the more you exercise, the lesser you get ill.
He believes it is time for corporate Ghana to embrace this message. Register for the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, not just for the trophies, but for the network and opportunities that would be created by the Joy Sports program.
Corporate bodies are supposed to work hard and make profit, or render effective services. Imagine 40% of your staff not being well. It means productivity will go down. And so I will encourage all corporate bodies to be part of the Joy Invitational Tournament because apart from the benefits you gain from exercising, you also get opportunity to network. Bankers are going to be there, insurers are going to be there. For all you may know, even tech people, lawyers. It won't be bad just walking to somebody just across and say, hey, hi, I'm Benny. I'm from Benchy and Chill. And then they also introduce themselves saying, look, I'm also Rookie from Stanchart. What a beautiful thing that would be. And so I will encourage everybody to be there.
What about a match between multimedia and your staff?
In fact, I need to speak to my deputy chief of staff, Stan Dogbe. He's much younger, and instruct him to put a team together. But I can guarantee you one thing: our team is going to beat you. Normally it's always better to beat people at their own turn. So be ready for us.
In a year where the multimedia group celebrates 3 decades of media excellence, Julius Debra described multimedia as a pace setter.
Pace setters are usually the newsmakers. And multimedia, we all know, we started long ago, and you've kept it objective. One thing I like about multimedia is that as much as possible, they try to be very objective. And that is what has sustained the brand. If you were to be extremely political, I believe by now, you will be there, but won't be there the way we see you. And so I use this opportunity to congratulate you and to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing right. And maybe a few years time we'll celebrate your centenary.
August 9 promises more than a tournament. It promises a convergence of leadership, health, advocacy, and friendly competition, all in the spirit of nation building through sport. From power walks to football fields, Julius Debra is walking the talk. And come August 9, he'll be playing alongside corporate Ghana for Joy Sports. I am Muftau Nabila Abdul-Rashid.
Ready for August 9? I didn't hear you. The neighbors need to hear you. Are we ready for August 9th? Yeah! And we're going to do 3 happy cheers for the Joy Sports Invitational. Hip, hip! Hooray! That's strong. We need to behave like the Black Stars just won the World Cup. Hip, hip! Hooray! Hip, hip!
Now, Ghana's fastest growing online service platform, Ayuda, has signed up for the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. They are hoping to dominate by winning several trophies.
Just before we got here, the atmosphere inside Ayuda, who says that they are here to help, is already greeting us. Quite an incredible atmosphere this morning. Come and see, come and see what Ayuda has done. 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 Come and see you. Come and see. Come and see you. Come and see. Oh, do you know Benaval?
Bernabeu. Do you know the Santiago Bernabeu?
I do.
Yes. We are just from there this morning. Before you came in, we had a serious training. We planned a series of friendlies to play before the main tournament. So we are coming in as underdog, but do not underrate us. I want to send a message to Magdan and the Magdan group of companies. We are coming for the trophy. We are coming for the trophy. Look, don't be deceived. You understand? Don't be deceived. You can rate us as the underdog. But trust me, when we come there, we are mighty. You listen to our tagline. Abaku, services be brave. A whole lot of soldiers to support us. We have our number 12, which are the supporters. As we showed you, we have our SPs coming around to support us. So we are ready. We are ready. We have the capacity to compete at the highest level. Yes. You can bring anything. We are not scared. We are fully prepared. We are training very hard.
You know that. What is this screen?
So we have the dashboard. Okay. So this handles all incoming requests. Everything concerning the Ayuda app, this dashboard displays it. Okay. So we have everything. We have requests. We have ongoing. We have pending, basically anything concerning the Ayuda app, okay. Completed requests, service providers that want to sign up on the platform, okay. They also show up here. Clients who make requests on the app, they also show up here. When we want to make payments on the app, it also shows up here. We also have a test and training center where we verify the artisans that want to join the platform. Okay. So this is basically the Ayuda dashboard. So
it's just a platform that you allow anyone to come. You can even decline people when you feel that they are not going to render the accurate services or they might not seem like people, like legit people.
Yes, okay. Yes. We the safety of our clients is our priority. Okay. So we want to make sure that we take people who are trusted, who are capable and reliable to render such services to them.
Okay, sure. Who are we?
Ayuda, Abajo, Service Baby.
Who are we?
Ayuda, Abajo, Service Baby.
Interesting. Elsewhere, Piva Beverages, they are also promising an upset at the games. They believe they have invested enough in their squad to make a mark at the competition.
When the CEO scored that penalty, they cheered as though we were all inside the stadium. Hey. I'm sure that's the support you're going to bring to your fans. I've seen your goalpost. Why? We are just playing, and you've got to construct a goalpost. Why?
Yeah, you know, last year we bragged a lot, yes. And unfortunately it didn't go well, yeah. Because that was our maiden tournament. So there was anxiety. We were not too prepared. But this time around, we realized that no, this is not a joke. People will say that, okay, we can't do well, but I'm just telling you that by the construction of this post means that we mean it. And we've taken a personal coach. So this time around, we are going to take it.
So aside from the action that we are going to get on the pitch, right? I remember last year when you came, we all drank loads of PIVA stuff. Anything special for us this year?
Yes, I mean, PIVA has even improved on our taste from last year. You know, we are barely 1 year old from just 1st of this July. We are improving everything. We always tell Ghanaians that PIVA is a wholly Ghanaian company. We need to support our own. If we go to advanced countries, it's either them or nobody else. And we are telling Ghanaians that patronize our products. Based on that, we should be able to employ more people, give sponsorship to a lot of companies. So PIVA has come to stay, and we want all the support from Ghanaians, from our water to our energy to our CSD. And very soon we have a big surprise for the Ghanaian community, which will come very soon.
Hey, Mr. Surprise, surprise, Mr. Surprise, 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 surprise.
To the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Ghana's Black Queens are through to the semi-finals for the first time since 2016. Following a goalless draw in regulation time plus extra time, the Queens had to rely on penalties to secure a 4-2 win over Algeria and qualify for the last four of the competition. Well, of course, the semi-finals will kick off tomorrow and Ghana will face host nation Morocco. In the other game as well is Nigeria against South Africa. That's how I end the sports segment on AM Show. My name is Haruna Mubarak.
You're still watching the AM Show, and before we get into our newspapers, let me tell you about Syntex tanks. Do you know the secret to real water storage? It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then it's not the correct tank. That's right, the tortoise tank. Syntex tank is the champion of water tanks. It is strong and durable and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. So rain or shine, Syntex tank has got your back. So as you hear me tell you these things right now, go outside and check your tank. And if it doesn't have the tortoise on it, it's time to upgrade. Join the Syntex tank family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. Call 0244 335 168 to either buy one now or find one of 400 agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, air strong, air tough. Don't forget, the AM show is sponsored by Syntex tanks. So our guests joining us this morning to help us review the newspapers, I'll introduce them as and when they join us. But in the studio with me this morning right now is a managing consultant, Mordecai Ebusia Adom Kwashi. Ebusia Yedom Kwashi. Right. He's a management consultant and a former MC for Lejokuku. It's great to see you again on the AM show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I mean, of course, we have other guests who will join us later, but I want to start with you.
Okay.
Usually we give a minute or two to our guests to reflect on any topical issue of national interest. What has caught your attention over the weekend, last week, up till now that you want to reflect on?
Oh, for me, the biggest thing is the MPP National Delegates Conference and what happened and what it portends for the party moving forward. And it was well organized and it was devoid of any major incidents and so on. And I am happy that it was done, that it turned out as it did. It is only the beginning. It is only the beginning. A lot of the amendments, including some that I proposed myself.
Yes, I realized you talked about demonetizing democracy and all that. You made some propositions. In fact, let me just give out a couple of those. You're saying they should forbid giving money, gifts, or any form of inducement to delegates. They should prohibit all direct or indirect physical contact with delegates. I mean, it's a tall list of things that you recommended. Do you think that they picked your ideas? Did they actually act on it?
Okay, those ones those proposals were actually not designed to be made to the annual delegates conference. Those can be achieved by normal regulation.
Okay.
So these are proposals. But it's important that we do that because you realize that we've had our expansion. Some expansion has happened.
Yeah.
But to the extent that these expansions are meant to cure the problem of monetization, one is not sure that this expansion will actually indeed cure it. In fact, the last time we expanded in 2009, in 2009 we were about 2,500 delegates. And then we expanded to almost 130,000.
And now you're looking at 280,000.
And that 130,000 we thought would cure the problem of monetization. But the outcome is that it even exacerbated the problem of monetization. And we also thought it would inspire, because people were participating, people be motivated. And yet we realized in the outcome of the 2024 election that people were demotivated, and that the monetization that should have come down was actually exacerbated. So indeed, in that sense, the first expansion was wasn't as successful as we thought it would be. Okay. Now the important thing for the party to do is to focus to confront monetization frontally, and not assume that by expanding to 200 and something thousand, monetization will itself stop. If our past experience is anything to go by, then this should even exacerbate it some more. So I believe strongly that after this, the next stage we're getting into as a party is to frontally confront the issue of monetization and put some of the proposals out, than which you can title them all under remote campaigning. Because to the extent that they stop the campaigner or the candidate from direct contact with the delegates, you reduce the instances of monetization.
Is that feasible? Can you actually, prevent direct contacts from, between delegates and those who stand to be elected? Is that feasible? Looking at the way that we run our campaigns, the way that we elect, I'm glad that this whole super delegates thing was not accepted. That's one way of looking at it.
That's a very good one.
But is it realistic to say that you don't want to give any direct contact between delegates and those who want to be, elected?
Well, I think it is, interestingly, when our constitutions were prepared in 1992 and so on, internet, social media, all those things didn't exist at all.
Yeah.
Now they all do. So now they are very cost-effective, environmentally sustainable ways of campaigning, communicating, without actually physically going. You can meet, you can have Zoom meetings, you can have team meetings, you can have group meetings without even physically being there. You can record yourself videos, very affordable, to share your message. In fact, if you think about it, remote campaigning gives you more opportunities to engage than actual physical campaigning.
If someone wanted, sorry to interject, if someone wanted to convince you to see things their way, would you rather they, approach you digitally via a phone, a screen, or come and see you, shake your hand, which is what we do here? That is why a lot of these politicians prefer door-to-door campaigning. Yes, we saw what happened at Ablekuma North during the election we ran. Although the NPP said they were not going to run, eventually they had to rush and do the door-to-door because I think we believe that's the most effective way to actually get people to see things from your perspective, no?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Door-to-door, face-to-face.
Yes. But you're saying the opposite.
We all know face-to-face is the most effective communication.
Yeah.
We also know it's the most expensive communication. We also know it's the most expensive. Now, where you want to bring the cost of internal politics down so that you can attract again your former civil servants, retired civil servants, retired lecturers, retired university professors, people like that, which we used to have in our party some time ago. You realize that all those people slowly are not so active in the party anymore. That is also a result of the excessive monetization of the party. So this monetization is such an existential threat to the party, in fact, to Ghana's politics, generally speaking, that I think that a move as drastic as what I am suggesting is still in order, because the problem it seeks to cure is a big one. And if we are successful in curing that. It's just, it basically requires a change of mindset, because practically speaking, there's nothing that you can say face-to-face that you can't say remotely. You can even meet the person remotely. All you can do is to touch the person remotely. And that is, we need to put that gap in order to avoid the issue of money. And also, you know, when you gather people into one location, they moved together. There was transport and all of that involved. So there's a temptation to reimburse them. Now, the quantum of reimbursement is what becomes the issue. Somebody reimburses with 200, somebody reimburses 1,000, somebody reimburses 5,000. Then the amounts now become outrageous.
I think this is a conversation we can have extensively, how we can demonetize campaigning and all, not just for the NPP as a party. But yeah, great ideas.
Important.
I just don't see how it would actually work. But that's my opinion.
At the first time, everybody says that.
Right. So let's get into the newspapers. I want to run through the Daily Graphic. I've seen some really interesting stories in there. You can make some notes in terms of which ones you would like to respond to. So on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning, Blekusu coastline secured. President Mahama launches protection projects. Accra, London to chart mutual development path. NPP expands electoral college. We're just discussing that. So these are the stories on the front page. Let's get into it proper. But I want to give you a bit of details on the Blekusu coastline that has been secured. So the Blekusu coastline protection Phase 2 in the Ketu South municipality in the Volta region has taken off in earnest. A project President Mahama described as a comprehensive, resilient coastal protection venture. Quote, "This is not merely symbolic, but rather a clear demonstration of what responsible leadership can do when it cares, when it listens, when it acts." President Mahama is saying that. So, I mean, we talk a lot about coastal erosion and how the sea is taking away land from the people, and also I just like that we're doing something about it.
It's a big thing, and we must commend the president. And indeed, we have this threat all along our coast. In the long term, I think we'd have to find some sort of economic activity around that area that will enable us to continue to protect it in that way. Because as the global warming comes up, we should expect this and sea levels rise. We should expect these issues to become even more. And that instead of spending money always on it, once it is done, let's seek some economic activity in the area that will help us to continue to pay for the cost.
Right. And I mean, tidal invasion is not just happening in Ketu. So whilst we are commending the president and saying that this is a good call, we should also look at how we can secure the other parts. You know, we have the central, the other regions where they're facing similar problems.
And even Accra.
And even Accra. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So let's get into some other stories. 9 killed on the international front. 9 killed, many abducted in Nigeria, bandit gang attack. I read that story yesterday and I thought it was just despicable. Christian Service University adjudged the most outstanding private university. Let me quickly run through some of the main stories in the paper, then I'll come to you for your reflections. New national capital underway. My journey through graphic. NPP expands electoral college. This has been a topical one throughout the weekend. And New Patriotic Party delegates at the party's highest decision-making conference have voted to expand the electoral college by 40%. And the vote has effectively expanded the party's electoral college, adding more than 60,000 polling station executives to the existing 220,000 members. But you know what I found interesting, Mordecai, is that in as much as they've extended the electoral college, it doesn't actually mean they are going to vote in January 2026 during the primaries. They say that this will take effect because we have current executives whose tenure will end in March, and the election is in January. So while the NPP has expanded the electoral college, it doesn't actually impact the upcoming primaries in January 2026. That's interesting, no?
It is, but that, well, I will check, but that was not the understanding I got.
Oh, really?
Yes, that wasn't the understanding I got. I thought that
current party executives whose time tenure hasn't ended. And it means that until that time is ended, you cannot add more executives to your electoral college. I want to give you some bit of details. So this is because the election of those officers will be done after March 2025. So, however, delegates at the polling station, constituency and regional levels who are now part of the enlarged electoral college will not be eligible to vote in January 2026. I'm right.
Okay, all right.
I want to hear your thoughts on this. So, I mean, to what end do you...
I'm a bit surprised that it's going like that, because the whole idea on this was the expansion was to give more people a role to, at the decision table.
Yeah.
But if it is that these new people will not have a role at this table for now, and that their first role will be 4 years from, that wasn't the expectation of most people. In fact, that wasn't my expectation. Indeed, when after the whole event, that was not the understanding I got out. So I'm happy that this clarification has come, because a lot of people were excited
that they're going to vote in January.
Yes, a lot of people are excited.
I'm sorry, you're not voting in January.
In January.
All right. I mean, the NPPs is everywhere in the newspapers this morning, and rightly so, because they had a great weekend. So let's do some other stories away from the New Patriotic Party. Prosecute individuals culpable in electoral violence. And that's the Interior Minister directing the Ghana Police Service. So the Interior Minister, Alhaji Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak, has directed the Ghana Police Service to prosecute individuals who engaged in violence in the 2020 and 2024 elections. And he stated that government did not condone violence in any form. Therefore, the Ghana Police Service needed to work diligently to address electoral violence. I think he was speaking at the Government Accountability Series, and that's what he was saying. And in fact, with the by-election at Akwetia staring us in the face, I think the onus falls on Ghana Police Service to do some sort of research, investigation, ascertain how they are going to deal with this, carry out this election. Because if Ablekuma North election rerun in 19 polling stations could produce such violence and such appalling behavior from both police and civilians and party members, I think that we have a long way to go in terms of the democratic dispensation of this country and how we run elections and what elections even mean to the individual. You know, because if you understand that your power is in your thumb, your vote, your decision, then there's no need trying to pull a woman away, I don't want to go back to that really sad incident that happened with, you know who I'm talking about. No. Let me hear your thoughts on this.
Now, first of all, let me take this opportunity to apologize on behalf of the entire ruling class of this country, because the kind of violence we saw at Abdul-Rashid North cannot fairly be placed on any... Look, we've been doing this for a long time, tit for tat for tit, and we've seen this, we're actually escalating, and it's getting more and more brutal and more violent. And it's important that as those involved in those who are political duty bearers must condemn this sincerely. And it's important that we show that we are ashamed of what happened, that we hold ourselves collectively responsible for what happened, and that we will act to prevent it from happening. And I don't think it is fair to expect the police alone to be able to do it. If we're going to avert violence in Akwetia, it will be because both political parties have committed themselves to avoiding it. If they both don't commit to avoiding it, there's very little the police can do to avert, the violence. So I think the responsibility there is even more on us as political people to ensure that our followers and our members genuinely understand that non-violence is nobody benefits from it, and it's only an escalating scale that will keep going on until we destroy this beautiful democracy that we have. So I think that the focus should be on the political actors, because it's clearly them.
Here's another angle. We've never really seriously prosecuted anyone or perpetrators of violence during elections. And so if you talk about scapegoats, we don't have any. If you talk about, serving as a deterrent to other people, we don't have anyone who is serving any jail time right now because they perpetrated violence, And this is going as far back as what's it called? The by-election somewhere, was it where who's the communication minister? What's his name? Sam George was hit was slapped.
Ayawaso,
yes, Ayawaso. You know, it goes as far back as then it goes
even further,
2024 elections. We don't have any evidence that you will be dealt with according to the law if you are caught culpable, instigating or committing any criminal crimes, whatever, during an election. So how is it that we can say the Ghana Police Service should prosecute people, yet we haven't actually done that in the past, and we are saying that that is the way to go and that's how we are going to solve these problems? We don't have, do we have the will to even prosecute them?
First of all, I agree with you. We are slowly cultivating a culture of impunity for political violence, and we must do something about it. But I'll tell you why I think the police cannot alone be blamed. First of all, this impunity is not because police don't want to prosecute. It's because political actors prevail on them to do things differently. Two, they've also seen that... Are you
saying that political actors are the reason we haven't prosecuted? I want to call them criminals for the purpose of this conversation.
Yes, and I'll give you, and before I proceed further on that, let me also explain something to you. I don't think it is fair. 2020, the 8 people who were executed. Yeah. There's a report from Raj. All the cases are in various stages of prosecution, all of them. So actually, it's not as if the police haven't taken the action. It is the process of trying evidence, providing witnesses, and that is the process.
But is it not taking too long?
That makes for since 2020, those who died 2020, the cases are, at least from the Shraj report that is currently available, all of them are in various stages. When these political violence happens, we all know when they arrest your people, MC will call commander, oh, my boys, so on and so forth. We kind of wink at it, which is why I'm saying it's important for political actors to sincerely condemn it and act in a way that show that they will not kind of behind the scenes condone it, you know, that kind of thing. We need to sincerely understand that the kind of violence we saw in Abdul-Rashid is a threat to all of us, every one of us. And therefore, that should inform us in our attitude and our approach to it. And I believe if political actors recognize the danger of what we saw at Abdul-Rashid, and it's a big thing, because remember that there are people who believe that they were targeted. The people were brought in, they were pointed at, go after this, go after this. That means it can happen to any of us.
Yeah.
Any of us. It can happen to any of us. So I think that it's important that we condemn it with all the seriousness that it deserves.
You see, the question I'm asking is, in a matter of months, we could go into the by-election at Akutia. So if we don't set the precedent, we don't set the tone, if we don't do anything about all the incidents of violence, how can we then ensure that people would do right by the Constitution, by the dictates of how elections are supposed to go? You see, it scares me as an individual, as a citizen, even as a journalist, you know, to observe that this is just how we do politics in this country. And we talk about, at various stages of progress in terms of prosecution, but at what point do we actually get someone and say, you are going to jail because of what you did? And then someone can say, if you do this, they're going to arrest you, they're going to put you in jail. We don't have that. You see, and that's my problem.
I agree with you, absolutely.
Anyway, I think it's a good time to welcome my second guest this morning. We have Victoria Bright. She's a lawyer and entrepreneur. And it's always good to have you, Vicky. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. I went to sleep.
I hope you had a good break.
I
did.
Good sleep. Yes, I did. Well, Vicky, we're just discussing electoral violence. The Interior Minister was, I think it took its turn at the Government Accountability Series over the weekend, or Friday, I think, also. And then he's saying that the Ghana Police Service should prosecute perpetrators of violence during elections. And I'm raising the angle of how we've never prosecuted, we've never actually jailed anyone before. But we have so many incidents of violence that have marred our elections. And so if the Interior Minister is saying that the Ghana Police Service should prosecute, how do we even reconcile that? And then there's also, Mordecai was saying that these issues or these cases are at various stages of progress. And that is why perhaps we haven't seen the end of these processes so far. But does it even boost your confidence as a citizen, Vicky? Because we are staring another by-election in the face. We are going to Akwitia in a matter of months, I think. And we don't have any evidence that the law will deal with you if you instigate or perpetrate or commit any violent act during elections. How then can we ensure? How then can Ghana Police Service even adhere to the call that the Interior Minister is making, that they should prosecute? And he also raised another interesting point, that is the political actors who are influencing the Ghana Police Service not to actually take action against these people. Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, I think this kind of violence is abhorrent and is totally, we cannot tolerate it at all. It has no part to play in our politics and our society as Ghanaians. People should be able to go and vote and feel safe turning up to vote. And in the recent thing, I hear that the policeman who assaulted the Joy journalist.
Yeah, he's been suspended.
Has been suspended.
Interdicted, okay.
He's been interdicted.
Okay.
Yes. Pending, I think, inquiries and investigations. Now, it's surprising. It's actually shocking that nobody has ever been prosecuted for this kind of crime. Because, the more we keep on not dealing with these people, the more emboldened and empowered they become. And the more they think that, it's politics. You do it, you go there, beat a few people, destroy a few things, burn a few things, and then, it's politics.
We've normalized it, you see?
That is exactly the point, sweetie, and it's not acceptable. It has never been acceptable, it's not acceptable now, and it will never be acceptable. So we have to prosecute these people. They have to know that it is not the way to behave when people are coming. Why? It's intimidation. It's intimidation. And these people have become so emboldened that now even journalists are being attacked blatantly. They didn't care that there were cameras all over the place.
No.
This is how bold they've become in perpetrating these acts of violence. So we have to quash it, and we have to quash it now.
Right. Thank you for that. And my third guest is also in studio with me, James Kwabena Bomfe Jr., PhD, CEO of Census and a lecturer at UPSA. James, welcome aboard the AM show.
Thank you, Sweetie.
So we're discussing election violence, electoral violence, so to speak, because the Interior Minister has reignited the conversation, and he's saying to the Ghana Police Service to prosecute these perpetrators when they're found culpable. But looking at our history, it's never been done. And we have a by-election staring us in the face.
So right from the word go, Sweetie, you are cynical and questioning the intention and the admonition of the Interior Minister. Why should I be invited to discuss your cynicism?
No.
I'm
using that as a context.
I agree. I'm posing a rhetorical question.
Go ahead.
Why should we be discussing your cynicism and not the optimism and the admonition of the Attorney General? The Minister for Interior. It brings to question what I have often said, the verdict of the people. The conversation we are having this morning, the viewers and those listening to us, I can tell you, they will think that it is the usual talk and nothing beyond this. And that's where we are getting to, which falls in line with the cynicism that you and I and many people have expressed in our politics and our political system. It will take all of us to resolve and accept that that is unsustainable, so we must stop it. Successful change theories will tell you that you first must begin with accepting a position of dissatisfaction. And when you have appreciated that you are in a position of dissatisfaction, that is when you can take the first steps out of it. When you don't accept, concede, confess that I am in the wrong, I'm in a ditch, I need to get out of it, there's no way you will get out, because after all, you have normalized it. It become usual. But as long as it is something for all of us to do, it will always take a few people to take the first marching steps.
I want to go back
and
to
that is where that is where I want. We're not going to do the theories.
No, but I want to link something. Just stay with me.
But the
lecturer, I want to pick your brain on
the attorney. the Minister for Interior. Yeah. I don't know why AG is on my mouth this morning. Yeah. What the Interior Minister is pointing is good, and we should then turn the focus on the officers here. In this case, the police. And I think the last week and the previous week, we sat here and discussed it.
Yes.
People have been seen on video. Have arrests been done? Who is doing what? And who is standing trial? And the last time I told my brother Mustafa Bandi that, you see, it is not something you can sustain. So parties should stop shielding. As if you do wrong or you commit a crime with a cover of party, you can go free. That is where we must end.
Right. So Mordecai made a point, and he said that the reason we are slow to prosecute or conclude on these cases that are in various stages of progress is because the political actors themselves are the ones influencing the Ghana Police Service. So I want to go back to the successful change theory.
Yes.
Tell me exactly what it would. You said it would take all of us. I want to learn.
Yeah.
What do we do? Because when we sit here every day, we are discussing and expressing, I'm quoting you now, our dissatisfaction with the status quo. So where do we begin to see the change? Do we not talk about it? Do we not express our frustration
in fact,
that these political actors or ministers are saying, well, Ghana Police Service, you should prosecute. But as a Minister of Interior, you have more power than the Ghana Police Service, I think, to say, listen, let's go and haul all these people. Let's put them all in front of a camera. Check who was the one who, because you have evidence, you have videos circulating everywhere. You get what I mean?
So
tell me about these successful change
I'll give
theories.
you pointers.
Yeah.
I think I concluded that it will, even though it will require all of us, some individuals or persons must take the lead.
Yeah.
And I'll give pointers. One, His Excellency the President instructed the former IGP to set up a committee to investigate 2020, 2024 election-related violence and report. He fired that IG. We don't know what became of that report.
Well,
that committee.
Did he fire him? Go ahead. I'm just trying to see the semantics of it.
Fire. What else can you use if he didn't fire him?
Relieved him of his duties.
But that's firing.
That's a euphemism.
Euphemism. I don't.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I do euphemism when it comes to my disability research for the sake of. So that is one point.
Okay.
Was the president committed truly to investigating those things? We have some work done. There are also West Wagon Election Violence Committee, or was it a commission? A Milshot Commission. They made some recommendations. Government actually sought to refer some of them to agencies of state. But did the government follow up to see whether those referrals were, lived up to? And some of them included the enactment of that anti-vigilantism. In fact, if you look at it, that act actually preceded a recommendation of the commission.
Yes.
Whilst the commission was, it was an initiative that preceded a recommendation in the commission report, and a number of things. So where are we on that? What review can we do on that? Then the third point is what the Interior Minister has just done.
Right.
Now, see, this is my view of our governance system. If we always want to target the political office holders as the solely responsible people to lead our country into action, we will fail. And this is what I mean. Okay. All of us are citizens. We have duties imposed on us in Article 41.
including the president, who is first and foremost a citizen. Now, so when they have taken these initiatives and appointed people, and in this case, the police service is not appointed by the president in terms of recruitment and so on and so on. The Constitution empowers them. They wear the badge of the coat of arms. The power of the state is with them. So when this instruction has been given, don't we think that the burden has shifted from the political actor to those who are paid with the taxpayers' money to see to that activity? And that if they are failing in their line of action, we need to question them. For me, that is where I then say that as citizens, we need to hold officers who are paid with our taxes accountable.
Okay. And also, you know, people are prosecuting and jailing people for stealing chickens and, you know.
You see?
I mean, going into
matter of
farms
days.
and exactly, in a matter of days. And the sentences are not small sentences.
Outrageous.
Totally disproportionate to the crime. Yeah. And yet, these are acts which have actually led to deaths, you know, at police stations. So we can't sit on the sidelines and say, oh, the political actors are exerting pressure. Then what are you being paid for?
Yes.
Yeah.
You should be able.
What are you being paid for? Why are we using our taxpayers' money to keep you in office if you are not capable of doing the job? And they are capable.
Because the politicians have a
let's
way.
Stop this excuse.
No, it's not an excuse. James, hold on.
It's an excuse. I'll tell you, it's an excuse. I know of some police officers and military officers, and we know the instances where they've been able to talk back to politicians that, no, sir. 2000, do you know what happened? It took an army officer to stand.
But how many people can do that?
We need, even if it is one, we need to encourage that.
This is why you cannot have people who don't have the, what word? I don't want
the wherewithal, the capacity.
I don't, yes, to actually stand up to their convictions and also do the job that they've been paid to do. If you can't do it, you have no business being there. If you're just there being a puppet, then what are you doing?
But you see, Vicky, James, that's the point I want to make. And Mordecai, I'll give you the last word on this. I know you've been waiting to get a word in. The point is, not most, I can't quantify it, but we know some of these police officers are only police officers because a politician somewhere helped them to get into that position. So after you've got the uniform and everything, now the politician calls you and says, oh, my boy was the one seen in the video doing so and so. Please, you know, find a way to...
Patronage.
You know, so what do? That's a point I wanted to make. That in as much as we say, let's hold them accountable, they themselves are compromised because of how they got in there.
Yeah, and
this is the reality on the ground.
But it is the reality on the ground. But the fact that someone got you in there doesn't mean that you now have to do everything.
That is where the conversation starts.
Because that happens in the private sector. Yeah. People get you in there, but it doesn't mean that if they come and say, go and fiddle the books of the company, you go and fiddle the books of the company.
You must be responsible.
You must be responsible.
For me, I think that one perspective is to look at the long-term scheme of things. Look, after the anti-vigilante laws, we realized that we disbanded some, but from research, I hear even more have formed. Okay. Now, as it looks, if you look at the 2020 election, let's start 2020 election, where a lot of people perceive that some amount of violence, the party that won, MPP, gained from the violence of 2020 elections. You cannot say that that didn't influence 2024. The other side came with a big amount of strength. Do you understand? And many people also think that it is because of that strength the government now gained from the violence of 2024. So long as there's the perception that the government first of all, let me correct it. I don't believe that 2020 MPP gained from violence. Neither do I believe that 2024 NDC gained from violence. You realize this from analyzing the 2024 elections. NDC won the elections massively. Whatever violence happened can't explain the huge win that they had. Do you understand? So really, NDC won the election. But the violence of 2024 has marred it. And if NDC people understand that that violence has marred their victory, it didn't enhance it, it didn't adorn it, it actually marred the victory that they had, then their approach to violence will change. I'll give you an example. I also West election was part of the by-election. I was part of the campaign. We campaigned very, very, very hard, every corner. So the day of the election, as a campaigner, as a grassroots campaigner, when I saw the armed, robust security presence, I also felt that they are stealing our shine. We have done the work. But if they win, right now, it will be as if announced up to today, every time they refer to they never talk about the amount of work, the work that you did, the door-to-door and the hard work. Everything is about those.
The violence.
Think about it. What did they really do? They wore their uniform and came and stood there and intimidated everybody.
And slapped Sam George and
so
the rest.
Really, it just stole our shine. So the point I'm making is that if politicians truly understand that the violence doesn't add to us in any way.
It takes away.
It takes away from us. Then our attitude and our approach would be different.
That's a great point. So let me just wrap up on the Daily Graphic and I'll come to you for your papers. On Women's AFCON, gritty Black Queens march into semis. Go Black Queens. Ghana stormed into the semi-finals of the Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations after a dramatic 4-2 penalty shootout victory over Algeria. Congratulations to them. And I always look forward to this. This is the inconvenient truth beyond the glitter on page 43 of the Daily Graphic. And it talks about balancing mining agriculture for Africa's future. So I just want to give two quotes here. Mineral wealth can build treasuries, but it is fertile soil that builds nations. To secure food, dignity, and long-term growth, Africa must mine wisely and farm deliberately. Last one, Africa's greatest wealth is not buried beneath its soil. It is found in its people, its land, and its untapped imagination. And this is about Galamsey and all that, agriculture and all that. And this is from Professor Douglas Boateng. Any reflections on these before we get into your papers? But there's a story I want us to do about... Yes, please go ahead.
It is, I think that we need to dispassionately look at it. Because it appears, if you look at the numbers, that small-scale mining itself, by the structure of small-scale mining, is not environmentally sustainable. Small-scale mining. That is why the solution may be to actually do medium-scale mining. Okay, and even if it means nationalization of the medium-scale mines, so that where we prospect, we find gold, the government builds the mine, and then hands it over to the people. So the mine is built according to a certain environmentally sustainable specification. Then it's handed over to the people, and then they mine and use gold to pay back the government. But at least we are sure that it's mining. And that will require more capital, which is why it cannot be small-scale mining the way we do it. Our approach to this mining must cease. If I had my way, I would say, let's ban all small-scale mining and rather move to medium-scale mining. If it requires state involvement to do the medium-scale mines, let's smartly do that.
That was one of the recommendations before election 2024. And the small-scale miners association, there's an association, they fought this vehemently. Only for us to find out a few months or weeks ago that the president of the Small Scale Miners Association is actually in bed with illegal miners. And he was arrested. I saw pictures and I read a news article on that. So I hear what you're saying, but it's all about the feasibility of these ideas and plans and recommendations.
I know that it was part of Dr. Baumia's thinking.
Right.
The approach to small-scale mining. I mean, not everybody agrees, but at least we need to be exploring new ways of going about it, because it is clear to me that small-scale mining, the way it is currently being done, is not sustainable.
All right. This is a shocker. So, University of Ghana's Pent Hostel, one in a room with AC, previously priced at 27,769 Ghana cedis, will now cost, and hear this, 40,329 Ghana cedis, according to the newly approved rates for the 2025-2026 years. One in a room with AC 40,000 Ghana cedis. That's more. That's about a year's rent for some people in this city, Accra. And you're paying this for university hostel fees. I don't know what to make of it. What are the parameters that were considered to arrive at such amount, such figures, considering how we claim that, the economy is on an upward rebound, etc. James, I want to start with you. To pay would you pay 40,000 for your child to stay in a hostel for a term, a year? I'm not sure if it's a term or a year, but it's just 40,000.
Describe the room as
one.
But I have an interest in the illegal mine. I'm not comfortable with the continuous use of the word galamsey. Galamsey is gather them and sell. It has a very positive meaning. But as a country, we've said it, and yet we are corrupting it. Illegal mining is illegal mining. It's criminal. We should, but anyway, let me talk about this one. We've been talking about this at least from 2003. I was then in my second or first year at the university. I got involved in a number of things, and I've been an activist in extractive sector since then. You are talking about a room in a university, a learning environment with air conditioning. In Ghana, we're in the tropics. Our weather condition and our architecture, building architecture and designs are not like those in the West, where you can hardly open your window for free air, and so because of their own peculiar situations, if you do that, you freeze in your room. You get frozen. So the student is learning, and the little I know from my background in education is that the learning environment is not one of comfort. It's not intended to be of comfort, where you go and as if everything is usual. You are there in a temporary situation to study and hard for a period, and then you are off it. So we call that the formative period or formative years. Now you choose to go and put your student in your ward in a room which is paying about 3,000 Ghana cedis a month. You know how much, what kind of facility that can rent for you in Kokomlemle?
I know.
3,000, an apartment.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
There are offices that pay less than that to rent. And it is more than one room. So the first question is, why that kind of facility there? And if somebody wants to go there, why should they even be talking about pricing? I'm concerned about the one who is living in a room that is shared. Regular students, 4 in a room, 3 in a room, who are paying some fees that I think are unreasonable. I'm concerned about that, but not one who goes there to go and seek luxury in a condition that they have got to deny themselves the comfort of life so they can focus to learn. It is in the quiet crucibles of suffering, pain, that your noblest dreams are born.
While I don't disagree with you, James, while I don't disagree with you, I also think that this is not necessarily luxury to have a one in a room, like just the privacy to even learn and have.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Yeah.
So having said this, you raised a question which I want to land on, but I needed to give this background to let us understand that, sometimes we pamper ourselves too much into conditions that take away from us the joy of academic life. I mean, we've all experienced academic life. Air conditioning room in a room. Anyway, so that said, you asked the question, what went into the price?
Right. And James, I'll come back to you. I hear we can't hear you properly. There's some sound issue, technical issue. So Vicky, let me hear you on this.
I don't necessarily think a student should suffer before they can get a good result.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'm a mother, so.
I'm a father too.
But the men are harder.
Yeah, they are.
So at the same time, I understand the point James is making. I think that the university has deliberately priced it that way because this is my own thinking. I have no idea why they came up with this, but because I don't think many people will be able to afford that for their children. I mean, over 3,000, I mean, James said 3,000, it's actually over 3,000, more than 3,000 a month. So you have to be in a certain income bracket to be able to afford that for your child. So I think the university has considered that before pricing it there. And also, you know, students don't have any concept of paying bills and all that. They will leave the AC on and go for lectures and come back. And we all know what the ECG cost is in this country. So I think, I don't know what, it will be interesting to find out what their regular prices are.
Okay, so this was coming from 20-something thousand
yes,
to 40,000.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Electricity bill is not involved there. After this, you will pay for
is it on top of it?
Paint?
You will pay for the AC.
Oh,
I don't think so. We can confirm. We can independently confirm because I know TF.
For private facilities, yes, but not the university's own.
Okay.
Universities.
So TF is another hostel, and they pay around 15,000, and it's all inclusive.
Yeah, normally
that's
the hostels that I know.
Yeah.
The AC is inclusive.
I don't think they have AC in the room I visited.
Cost of the electricity. Okay, all right.
Yeah, TF. I don't remember if there was an AC there. My sister is there, so I visit there often.
Usually, when they put AC in the room, they anticipated that.
Right.
Maybe that's why they've upped it so that they can just do it on an.
I mean, but 40,000. James, we can hear your concluding thoughts for us on this then.
Well, I think I've expressed my views on this. At the end of the day, I believe that the learning environment is one that requires of attributes like self-denial of certain things.
Go and suffer.
Yeah, no, you know, it's not. You see, it is not to make it a disincentive, but to encourage you. You are there for a period, you will go out. That's why there are restrictions. Why are there restrictions in school? The last time we were talking about secondary school,
the ones who run
girls
away.
who were running out. They want comfort.
In the boat.
Yes, they want comfort. Young girls who are supposed to be there to learn
during school hours.
School hours. They want to make money and come and show off with big phones. That's the only thing. And there are people who go there to go and show off by, oh, you don't know that I slept in an air-conditioned room.
I'm in one of the 40 areas.
So let me digress. Let me digress here a bit. Do we over-glorify suffering in Africa, in Ghana? Usually I don't know why.
We embrace.
And so the end of the question.
That a little suffering is good for the soul.
Hold on a second. So the end of the question is, and is it actually doing us any good to glorify suffering? It's like we, as an African, especially as women, African women, I may even, reduce it to Ghanaian women, you are taught to invest in this vast garden of sacrifice your whole life. Oh, it's not anything. You sacrifice. In all spheres of life. It could be your job, internship, they're sending you to buy watches. Oh, just suffer small.
If this is at me, I am
James, it's not about you. I did say that let's digress a bit. I think we over-glorify suffering in this country, on this continent. And I don't see the good it's doing us.
Celebrate it.
I think.
Why?
I think the right word to use is that we weaponize or normalize it than celebrate it. You see, we tend to think that...
I think we actually celebrate it.
I don't get it. For the life of me, I don't understand why.
We tend to think that, certain conditions are okay for the rest of your life. And Amartya Sen theorizes that as adaptive preference. You are not comfortable with it. But because it has become familiar to you, you adapt to it. And you suffer. And yet you think that suffering is okay. Like a woman, because you use the woman example, who is being ill-treated by the husband, that she fears that the society will frown on her as a divorcee. So she will stay in that marriage. Men, same. The woman is abusing him and all these things, denying him all sorts of things. And yet he says that I will stay because I don't want the church to think that as an elder I'm divorced.
Yes.
So So those are situations that are not peculiar to us in Africa. They are, I mean, situations of humanity that we need to, but because of our economic situations that are more in the negative or poor state, ours tend to be aggravated or highlighted more.
Please, pause here. Vicky, let me throw this to you. Does it reflect in the way we accept any way we are treated as citizens? So our leaders are doing this thing and we know it's not National Cathedral. We started talking about this from the get-go. But we are all like, oh, it's okay. They're going to do it. We find a way to rationalize, you know. We find a way to rationalize evil things. And then at the end of the day, we come and complain about it. And the way we glorify suffering and sacrifice, I think it's a reflection on where we are as a country, as a continent. Because the West, I don't think they glorify, celebrate, and rationalize sacrifice and suffering as much as we do.
Not at all.
So, Vicky, am I right to make such a comparison that the way we are as citizens and the way we accept suffering is just, you know, I don't know how to articulate what I'm trying to say, but I think it's a reflection on how we are as a country. I don't know if you get my point. You know, as a people, yeah. Because we, you know, like we need to reorient ourselves from
part of our culture.
It's bad. It's
and
bad.
I think it's also become so entrenched that it's shaped our character as Ghanaians.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
A lot of Africans see Ghanaians as, oh, these people, you know, don't say anything. They are peace-loving and all the rest of it. And I think in many ways, you know, I mean, it is a developing country.
Yeah.
There is a lot of poverty in the country. And I think poverty has somehow beaten people into submission.
Thank you.
You know,
Yeah.
I think poverty has beaten people into submission. But I mean, Ghanaians are very... I mean, I guess the better word is peaceful, but the actual word is a bit docile. Not in a bad way. I'm not using that word in a bad way or in an insulting way or anything. I'm just saying that we're a bit more, we don't say what we mean. There's also a lot of hypocrisy in our society. A lot of hypocrisy in Ghanaian society.
Yeah.
We pretend a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and as Bonfe was saying just now, you know, someone will be there, her husband is beating her every night, and yet, you know, hey, I'm Mrs.
Yes.
You know.
She has a huge ring on her finger and she's all over the place, you know.
I'm Mrs.
Goodness
this,
me.
Mrs. That. So, meanwhile, they don't even talk.
You know?
They don't even speak in the house.
The marriage collapsed years
Years ago. They just go and greet at girls together.
Mordecai, you know, elsewhere, I think because the people demand more, their leadership do more for them.
That's
you see
exactly
people
what
pour out on the streets.
That is exactly the point I was about to make, that this leads to also a lack of accountability. We accept, because we glorify suffering, and I think we actually do. We glorify suffering, and we think that suffering, having endured suffering, is a good thing. So I think that affects us insisting on accountability. Because we cannot accept this. That circumstance as it is, rationalize it away, and therefore step back from holding people to account for things that they've done. The accountability here is low. In my
and
view.
we are very good at rationalizing
it.
Oh, we will find a way to make sense of it. Like, oh no.
Carry on. That's
anyway.
Nothing has happened.
Okay, let's get into other papers. Our time is almost gone. Vicky,
and it also links into this whole thing that I keep talking about, mediocrity, accepting it, and you know, we just accept everything. If we are being treated badly as a nation as well, we just, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
because
because some of these airlines, you go check in and they put you in like, you know, the gate. You have to walk like 100 miles to get to the gate, the Ghanaian, you know, or next to the toilet, and we just kept complaining, these people, they are not doing well, blah, blah, and then that's it.
At the risk of sounding impolite or rude. So they'll rather just shut up and take whatever you're handing them. Let's get into some other papers.
So let's be bold.
Yeah.
Let's be bold. Let's speak our minds. Nobody's going to cut off your head. Speak your mind. Be bold, especially the youth. Yeah. Be bold and stand up for your convictions and speak up.
And
Speak up.
Interesting
Thank you.
point, just to add, just quick one before you would have thought that now that we have social media, WhatsApp, Telegram, and all that, there will be more talking and interaction within their parties themselves, discussing policy, discussing things. But you're surprised that on their party platforms, they censor themselves very, very hard. So the place where the discussion and debate ought to be happening is a place where there's almost nothing happening,
just
which
before,
in my view is a big shame. It's a great, great shame.
Just before you wrap up, Sweetie, on this, it starts from the classroom. Children are not encouraged to speak their minds, to challenge the teachers.
Is it classroom or home? You know, you can't talk back to your parents.
Home, classroom, the whole thing. You know, because if the child does that, the parent will actually back the teacher if they are punishing the child. Hey, then, you know, you are not respecting your elders. What do you mean? Blah, blah, blah. And the teacher is like, shut up and listen to what I'm lecturing you about or teaching you. What do you know?
Right. What do you know?
Right or wrong?
My teachers hated me for it anyway, because I'll tell you what I think. I will tell you.
Yes.
Sometimes it's also their approach.
Yeah. So we need
let's end it here, please, so that we can do other papers. So, Monica, let's get into your overseer, I think. First, the stories on the front page, and any of them that piques your interest, we can discuss.
Well, many of the stories are political and have to do with the just ended
NPP national delegate.
NPP aspirants accused and Abi. Brian receives rousing welcome. And Brian again, ADB board holds maiden meeting across member states. Okay, let me say a quick thing about the MPP thing.
Okay.
There's something that these days I don't hear being talked about a lot. One of and now I speak as a member of the NPP. We used to always restate our commitment to service to humanity. That used to be something every time we meet, we say. But for some time, I am not hearing that one. It was refreshing when President Kufuor opened the school, a party school, that he talked about a service to humanity. I'm almost seeing it as a line dividing the old MPP people from the new MPP.
Right.
Almost. As a line dividing old MPP and new MPP people. The old people still remember a culture of sacrifice, service to humanity. They went to prison, they suffered and all that. The new people was they're a bit more transactional, I think, in the way they look at politics. And I'm putting it mildly. But the new people, you can see that money focus, personal, me focus is in it. But as a party, every time we meet, we should remember that we are here for service to humanity.
All right,
and in fact, service to humanity is how we should judge everything that we do. You know, and these days, I'm not hearing that much, and I'd like to use this opportunity to encourage not only MPP, all political parties in Ghana. We are not in this game for ourselves. We are in this game for service to humanity, and it's important that we remind ourselves from time to time.
Thank you. So, Vicky, stories on your front pages.
So I have the Daily Democrat and the Custodian. Custodian, the usual NPP thing.
Right.
Daily Democrat, stealing in the name of God.
National Cathedral.
National Cathedral.
Now we are talking about 90-something million Ghana cedis.
90.
We have to go, but let me hear you on this.
Yes. No, you mean, isn't it dollars?
Dollars, sorry, yeah.
It's dollars, yes.
Nearly 100 million.
Yes, I like the title of this. I mean, whoever put this there has done a great job.
In the interest of
the church. Stealing in the name of God. All I'll say is that this thing was doomed from the start. And it was doomed from the start because I'm a Christian, okay? And as much as God loved King David, when he did what he did, what did God say to him? He loved him, probably more than most people in the Bible, definitely more than a lot of people in the Bible. And he came directly from, Jesus came from his lineage. And what did he say to him? He said, because you have dirtied yourself, you will not build my house.
Is it the one that God said is a man after my own heart?
Yes.
I know the Bible.
After his own heart.
Okay, Vicky.
Which is good. So when you now are stealing, there's corruption. There are procurement breaches. There are people with all sorts of you know, different, what do you call it, identities and all the rest of it. This reverend, whatever his name was, and all the things that, yes, that thanks to Okudzato Ablakwa, we all got to know about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way that God is going to associate himself with this.
Thank you, Vicky. I have to cut it short. So you have the final word, either something on your paper or final conclusion on something.
You can't mock God.
James,
I want to add that.
Okay.
You cannot mock God.
All right.
Galatians 6 verse 7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked.
The same thing I just said.
Yes, I'm just quoting that.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
So, cathedral, because of the limitness of time, I would just say, I went to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
For me, these issues about the money and accountability are after the fact. Did the state have to go into that venture as the leader, not supporter? And yet when we raise it at the Supreme Court, the judges ignored the facts that we have put before them. The AG lied that all the state was doing was providing land. It's turning out more money went into it. Lastly, Sweetie, if we don't change the insensitive, backward and colonial relic legal regime on mining, none of the efforts would work on ownership.
All right.
You cannot deny me and my forebears and those who are yet to be born the land we own just because gold has been found under it, and say that the state will take it 100%, and yet at its exploitation, we are the only ones who will suffer.
Thank you, James. So that there is James Kwabena Bonfe Jr. He's CEO of Census and a lecturer at UPSA. We also had Victoria Bright. She's a lawyer and entrepreneur. And Mordecai Busunya Yadom Kwashi, management consultant and former MCE for Lejo Kuku. And that ends the second hour of the AM show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll take a short break, and when we return, more action on the AM show. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's the AM show. Across Ghana's 16 regions, around the world, on myjoyonline.com, on the Joy News channel, on Facebook, X Spaces, and on YouTube. Thank you for staying with us. And this is our big story segment. Let's take a look at the just ended NPP, the New Patriotic Party national delegate. So a new constitution in the making for the NPP, following sweeping reforms endorsed at the conference. But only 2 of these amendments were rejected. The question we're asking is the problem one of the reforms or unity, as minority leader slumps the party faithfuls of backbiting and subtle sabotage and urges them to choose unity over evil. Let's discuss the highlights and the reforms and all that with a member of the Amendments Committee. Dr. Ekuya Mwakwa is my guest. Doc, welcome to the AM show.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to host you.
Yes, I was asking of you last week when I was here.
I took a short break. Yeah, I got tired. You know this work.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. I know that the highlight for most people is the expansion of your delegates' potential, electoral college, I mean, and so many other things. The abolition of the super delegates, 54 motions passed.
Yes.
We were just talking about policy direction before we went on air, but I want to hear your overview in terms of how you think the entire conference went for you. Let's start there.
Okay, so first, let me take this opportunity to give a big kudos to the entire, the national executives, the planning committee. I think they organized a splendid event. Everything went smoothly, and there was not much distraction from the main event. With regards to the amendments that we passed on that day, it was put in the hands of a committee after the Michael Kwe committee presented its report. Why did we even go about doing all of this? This happened after our huge defeat. I was trying to find a better word for that. So
it's okay.
It became very clear to us as a party that we had to go back to the drawing board, admit the things that we didn't get right, and work on that to improve. So with all the research that we did, two things became clear to us that we had to take steps on. The first one was that Ghanaians were not too pleased with our responses to the economic challenges that occurred all around the world. We couldn't really be blamed for causing it or as being the causes of it, but maybe our management, the policies we put in place to respond to the crisis was not something that was absolutely successful, if I can say that. And so we take that critique in good faith, and it was one of the things we wanted to work on. So on that note, we've set up now a directorate of policy. The National Council of the party already had sector committees, so we have a sector committee on health, constitution, finance, all of that. We also opened that up because before, the membership of that committee was mostly members of parliament who are already engaged and busy in parliament. So we expanded that to allow our best talents to join. So now the sector committees are not going to be just based off, like comprised of members of parliament. We are going to be able to pull in all our strong brains in the party to be able to sit on these committees so that we can come up with very robust policies that would be able to move the country forward when we are given the opportunity to.
You see, the reason I like that, I like what you're saying, is because as a party in opposition, your job is not only to criticize or critique the actions of the incumbent government, but also propose solutions, recommendations that actually helps Ghana to become better.
Exactly.
So this policy direction is great. I think that's what I wanted to add.
I'm very happy. It was something that we worked really hard towards, and as I was telling you before, it's something that I'm very proud of. So now it won't be so reactive that, you know, basically waiting for the government to falter, which they do, because even last coming here, I didn't have power. So anyway, today...
Today you have power.
No, I didn't have power last night, but that's a different conversation. Okay. So it would not be so reactive, but we are sitting down as a party to come up with policies and our ideas as to how we'll be able to run various sectors when we come into office. Okay. So that was the one part that I feel like was a little overshadowed with everything. Okay. The second part was that our party base and a lot of members of the party felt that there were a lot of loopholes in the way our party was organized. So that was also a part that took a huge chunk of our time. This whole process to peruse the proposals and come up with these motions took over 3 months. There were times where we worked through the nights. So I mean, coming all together on Saturday, it was a very joyous moment because we had put in a lot of...
You just took us behind the scenes to see how the success that we saw on television had come to be.
It took a long time, and most of the decisions to come to a consensus was not easy. I think you saw all the members of the committee on the stage, and everybody has a very strong opinion. So, but it was a pleasure working with them. Let me go back to the issue about the loopholes that our party people felt we had in our system. If you look at the motions that we brought up, a lot was about discipline, how we will handle our disciplinary matters, and then the expansion of our electoral college as well. One of the things that came up repeatedly in Michael Quay's, Right Honourable Michael Quay's report was people feeling lack of inclusivity amongst party members, because somebody could be like maybe a constituency chairman for maybe 15, 16 years, but once you are no longer a constituency chairman, basically you have no say in the affairs of the party. It makes them disillusioned, and then we suffer apathy.
Yeah, so what you've done now is that former members of parliament, former MCEs, former, if you've held any position on the tickets of the NPP, you've been invited to join. And I think what you have done by expanding the electoral college is to boost grassroots participation.
Of course.
However, I found it interesting that in as much as this expansion by 40% has been done, they will not be participating in the upcoming primaries in January 2026.
So yes, they would not be participating in the upcoming primaries for 2026. And that is because we already have elected executives. You see, we have elected executives whose terms of office has not expired. Their terms of office, I think, will expire somewhere in June next year. So we cannot curtail their terms of office just because we want to do amendments. And I hear a lot of critiques for our current executives, which sometimes I find very painful. Probably because I worked closely with them during the campaign, and I still do. So I see just how much they give off. during the last election, we had polling station executives or polling station workers who lost their lives during the performing their duties for the party. One person was trying to hoist the flag and got electrocuted, lost an arm. I think a month or so, the former Vice President, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, was in Central Region, and we went together to visit him. So these are the people that have been working for the party for so long. Because we've suffered one election defeat, does not mean that we should throw all of them away and seek to curtail their terms of office, because they are legitimate officers of the party. Most of them stood for elections, they won. So at the end of their terms of office, we'll have fresh elections, and then new people can contest and fill those roles.
Do you think this will dilute the influence of party elites, the expansion of your electoral college?
Yes, together with our...
I mean, although they are not participating immediately. So it means that their tenure will start off somewhere in 4 years or so, the next election cycle.
Again. No.
I'm asking if in June.
Yeah, next
so
2026.
The 40% expansion will take effect in June.
No, so the former MPs, former MMDCs, former constituencies...
They will be included
They are voting in January for the flag bearership. Because that doesn't require an election. They are not replacing anybody.
Oh, yeah. So it's the executives who will take office in June.
Yes, it's the new executives.
Yeah,
so
because of course those right now, their tenure will end in March. Yes,
between March and June. Polling station March, national somewhere June.
Okay.
So those would vote, but the former executives that we are adding are all going to add. So they would that represents a significant expansion for the presidential primaries we are having in January.
Great. So the question is, the expansion of this electoral college, do you think it does anything to dilute the influence of party elites? By that I mean, there are people in your party who wield a lot of influence. And in more cases than not, they can influence where delegates vote, although we know the popular term now, fear delegates and so on. Do you think the expansion does anything to solve that problem? Influence?
So, when we talk about influence, it's politics. So influence is currency. It's something that in every political sphere, influence is something that counts. But I would like to believe that, I would like to disagree with your assertion just a little bit on that. Because even as at now, we have about 200,000, our electoral college consists of about 200,000 people. So it is really not as simple as somebody going to stand somewhere and saying, all 200 of you vote this person. And even looking at the history of our party, there have been several times where preferred candidates of who we can term as the influential elite lose elections. So it's really never as simple as you have the support of this influential person so you would win. You still have to go and convince, because it's not a small number of people. 200,000 people, even before this, even before adding the formers. It's not as simple as waving a wand and telling them, all of you should stand here. So even if you were at the stadium on Saturday, you would have noticed that the delegates were very, I would like to say that they are very apt and intelligent. They went through the motions. They knew which ones they did not want. So even sometimes, even before the chairman of the committee, Frank Davis, reads that, they start expressing their displeasure.
Yeah, I saw that with motion 17.
Yeah, so even before motion 17, there was so much, and I couldn't hold my composure so much at that time. So they know what they're about. So it's not so easy to whip them all in line.
Okay, I want us to pause on the removal of motion 17, the removal of the superdelegate system.
Okay.
Exactly what did you seek to do with that reform? Although it's been rejected, I want to see if I can understand why it even came up in the first place.
So motion 17 is not the
is that not the scrapping of the superdelegates?
Motion 17 was the committee that would oversee some of the elections.
Okay.
So for, currently we have the constituency basically overseeing the polling station election. There were proposals to change that. So motion 17 reads, amend Article 730 of the Constitution to provide that the regional executive committee
nominate polling station officers.
Okay, shall appoint persons to oversee that process.
Okay, so I'm talking about the two motions that were rejected.
Yes.
Right. The first one, I think, in no particular order, the scrapping of the superdelegates.
No, so the two that were rejected was motion 17, the one that just read. Superdelegates was the scrapping of the superdelegates was approved by the delegates on Saturday.
Okay, so I think I confused myself, but I want to understand
why we wanted to scrap this. So there were numerous proposals asking the committee to put in motion to scrap the superdelegate system. Because, number one, the delegates pool for that election is quite small. I think about 2,000 or so. And then if you look at our previous constitutions, before this 2017 amendments, there was no such thing as superdelegates in the MPP's constitution. It was a measure in response to something. It was in response to the primaries we had in 2007, 2008, after President Kufuor was leaving office, when we had about 17 contenders. So basically, it was sort of a knee-jerk reaction to be able to whittle down candidates when we have a large number of aspirants. But so
it's no longer serving the purpose for which it was.
Exactly, it's no longer serving the purpose. And moving forward, we realized that small college is, it can easily be manipulated, and people feel unhappy with that process. So we found it prudent to remove that. So all the candidates will go contest at one. Whoever gets 50+1 takes it. If not, we have a rerun, which we used. That was the systems that we were operating before the 2007 primary.
Okay. So let me clear up the confusion I had initially.
Yeah.
I was confusing the motion 17 with the superdelegates. Yeah. So, I mean, why do you think the delegates rejected that motion? Is it fear that they may remove grassroots participation? If you're asking regional executives to nominate polling station officers, I mean, why would you even propose that in the first place?
So it's not to nominate polling station officers, it's to nominate officers to supervise polling station and electoral area elections. So the thinking going into this motion and the proposals that we received that were in line with this motion was because if you look at the history of the MPP so far in our elections, the polling station elections can be very chaotic. It's very acrimonious. A lot of people have an interest there. And so people tend to try to exert some undue influence at that level. So the justification for that proposal was to ensure that the supervision will come from a higher level, hopefully to bring some balance to the whole process. But the delegates did not agree. The delegates are the constituency executives. And whatever you are doing it together with them. You need their buy-in. So if they are not ready for this step yet, I think it's something we take in good faith. They still want to be able to have control. And I also understand their arguments. It's because they live in the constituency. They know these polling station agents. They know who is a party member. They know who has been working. So they may be better suited to supervise this process. We just have to ensure and strengthen our disciplinary processes that I already set out as one of the major things that we seek to do now. Okay. So if you are enforcing discipline and people know that you can't just go and manufacture at a polling station album, if you do that, you'll be brought to book, then there's no problem if they supervise it themselves.
Okay. And the motion to also redefine youth age
that was rejected. An interesting one.
I thought that it went without saying, whether or not it should even be a topical conversation. But I want to understand.
Oh, really?
What does it say about the generational politics, about the NPP, so to speak?
So, I think there's a lot of misconception in the NPP about the question you are posing. It is a conservative party. The New Patriotic Party is a very conservative party. But even though it's a conservative party, we do really open up and allow youth participation. This amendment committee of the party is basically a committee that amended the constitution of the party, which is probably the document that the whole party is run by. And they had a very young person there.
Yeah.
So I think there's a deliberate attempt and a deliberate effort by the current generation of the MPP to open up and allow the youth to have a voice. If you look at the previous MPP administration we had under His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he gave a lot of young people opportunities. Getting to the end of the tenure, it's been 8 years. So even if they entered at 32, they are no longer 32, and you don't see them as very young anymore. But deputy chiefs of staff, very young. my sister, Honorable Fatima Abubakar,
Yeah.
very young when she started. So I think that's a huge misconception that we have to work harder to get over. We allow the youth. It's a very conservative party. The only difference is you come and you sit at a table with people that are mature. So you are able to learn. There's a blend of generations always around. You can lean on the older ones to learn something. And they also learn a lot from us young people. And I can personally attest to that. That it's a very coherent system, and I think that's the way to go. But with the youth age, funny enough, I can even tell you here that I was for the status quo. Because, but obviously, as I said, there's always a back and forth, and majority carries the vote.
Right.
So I was
For me, I just think it
there.
signals a vehement resistance to altering age-based qualifications,
Yes.
and rightly so.
Yeah,
you
which
know,
is fine.
Because age is just a number.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
We
it
don't,
really
we
shouldn't
don't
define.
want to limit it. I think the idea for the people that brought the proposal to reduce the age was to make it easier for younger people to compete and win at these elections. Because to compete and win as National Youth Organizer in the MPP is no small feat.
Okay, hold on for me. Let me bring in Dr. John Osai-Kwapong into the conversation. Doc, thank you for joining us. Dr. John Osai-Kwapong is a CDD fellow, and I want to get your assessment of how the NPP's National Delegates Conference went. We know that two of the reforms they proposed were rejected, but those that were accepted included the expansion of the Electoral College, abolition of super delegates, and some other motions, including, you know, structural tweaks like renaming National Treasurer to Chief Fundraising Officer and all that. How would you assess the just ended NPP's National Super Delegates Conference, Doc?
Overall, I believe the conference went well, well organized. They addressed all the pertinent issues that the party felt it needed to address. The theme of unity for me was also very, very important to reiterate throughout the different speeches. I believe that normally when a party suffers a very heavy electoral defeat, there's the tendency to to point fingers, to look for who or what caused the defeat. But I think it was very important for the party to emphasize party unity as one of the ways to regroup and recover from their electoral loss in 2024. I have been regularly saying that one of the things the party needs to do is, beyond who or what caused the 2024 election, is at some point the ability to rise above all of it and collectively own the defeat so they can chart, a different path and a new way forward as they think about the next election.
What
thinking
reading?
about
Okay.
When you think about some of the the different amendments to the party's constitution, the one that struck me, which I also support, is delineating or making changes to who the party's leader is. And at this point, I mean, if you look at the approved amendment, it is going to be the national chairman of the party being the party leader. I think what that does is it allows for a clear distinction and delineation of the boundaries between party and government, right? That if, the president being the leader of the party because he or she ends up being elected once they're selected as the flag bearer, right? For me, blurs the line between what is party business and what is government business. When you do this, you allow, a certain president to focus on governing and the governance issues. And then you allow the national chairman and his or her executives to focus on administering and running the party without crossing the line. So that for me is one structural change that I really like and I really support. The flag bearer for me, whether he or she loses the election, is mainly for electoral purposes, right? And so again, you delineate the role of the flag bearer from the role of party leader. Yes, if he or she doesn't win the election, they can still play the role of opposition leader. But I think, again, to ensure that party business remains party business and run by party executives, that it's a structural change that for me is in the right direction.
Okay, I want to get your thoughts on the rejection of the motion in terms of the youth age limits, right? Redefining what youth really means. For a conservative party like the New Patriotic Party, and the way the delegates rejected that particular motion, what reading do you make out of it? I was just asking Dr. Kiamwako about the generational politics in the NPP, and she says, well, she was for the motion anyway, but what reading did you make of it?
So, it's interesting to see, what that cap does or does not do. You're right. At the end of the day, if we want to bring in the youth into our political spaces, and if we want to get them excited about our politics and to participate and bring their energies into it, and also, come up with the kinds of policies that would attract them and give them a reason to participate. You do want the kind of situation where they can relate to whoever their national youth organizer is. Does age, the age does matter because you want someone who can relate with that generation. I'm not sure if the age cap overall solves that, because you can also have a candidate who is outside of that age bracket but understands the youth, can relate to the youth, and can get the youth excited about politics and political involvement. So for me, it's neither here nor there. I can understand why the proposal was rejected, but overall for me, it's more about, can you get a candidate who can, again, draw our youth into our political spaces and get them to participate at the level that you want them to participate. You want them to care, but you also want to make sure that as a party, you have someone who can articulate the kinds of ideas that resonate with the youth. And sometimes for that, it's really not about an age cap that allows you to do that.
Do you get the sense that these changes are about principle or about preparation for the next election? For example, the change, renaming the National Treasurer to Chief Fundraising Officer, does it suggest the NPP's priorities moving forward? Do you get that sense that it's about principle, or they're just preparing for 2028?
I think it's a combination of both. I believe that post the 2024 election, there are some important lessons that the party has learned, which requires some principled changes in terms of where the party places its priorities, its values, as reflected in the party's constitution. But at the same time, I also believe that some of these changes are designed to ensure that as a party machinery, they can reposition themselves to again compete come 2024. The one thing that I want to highlight, though, is whilst I appreciate the expansion of the Electoral College, I am still waiting for the day where there would be a full expansion of the Electoral College to include all registered members of the political party. I still believe that if we want to solve the money, especially the money problem in our party primaries, and solve the undue influence of delegates in the selection of whether it's a parliamentary candidate or a flag bearer for the party, that at some point a full expansion of that electoral college to include all registered members of the party would be a really good way to go. I know there are logistic and other reasons why it becomes it's not an idea that is fully embraced at this point, but I just hope that by the next election or 2 election cycles later, there would be a move towards that idea of a full expansion of the Electoral College.
Thank you. Dr. John Osai-Kwapon is a fellow of CDD Ghana. Thank you, Doc. So, Dr. Kiamako, that's what Dr. John Osai-Kwapon is saying, that he's looking forward to the day where we can get a full expansion of the delegates or Electoral College to include every card-holding, bearing member of the New Patriotic Party. Do you see that happening?
Yes, I think that's the direction the party has decided to go in. It was a formed part of our recommendations to put in the measures in place so that we can register and have a credible register of our card-bearing members so that everybody can then cast their vote. But there are also schools of thought which I tend to agree with a little, because even if you look at the political systems all around the world, selection of their leaders there's always like a delegate system. Even if you look at the Republican Party in the US, there's always a delegate system. Some have an open primary, some have a closed primary. So if you have an open primary, then they allow everybody to vote. But in the end, it's still the delegates that will cast the ballots for the candidates. So it's something that I believe is something we should navigate very carefully, because our brothers on the other side, on the left in Ghana, NDC, I think they even tried it some time ago and they quickly ran away from it. So it's a slippery slope, but there was an overwhelming call for that as well. So the party is definitely putting measures in place to move towards that, to move towards a point where we have a large base of card-bearing members. Right now, there are a lot of people that identify as MPP, but how many of them have party cards? The number is even smaller than our current electoral college. So it's something that will require deliberate work to put the logistics in place to get that done. And we are hoping to be able to achieve that in about the next 4 years or so.
Okay. Dr. Kiamako, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Kiamako,
it's a pleasure being here.
Always. Is a member of the Amendments Committee. Right, I got it right. Amendments Committee of the New Patriotic Party. Now, before we go, make your dream home a reality with EcoBank. Step into your ideal home, or transform your current space into one that truly reflects your style and comfort, all with the support from EcoBank. EcoBank has once again partnered with Joy News to bring you an exciting experience at the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. This year's edition makes your journey to a comfortable modern home even more accessible and affordable. With EcoBank's Buy Now, Pay Later, you can easily renovate, upgrade, or furnish your home to suit your taste and lifestyle. Whether it's elegant home decor, modern furniture, essential electronics like laptops and phones, or solar energy solutions, EcoBank has the right financing tailored to your lifestyle. So from staying connected with the latest devices to embracing sustainable living, our flexible consumer loans, asset finance, and salary advance, the salary advance products, they're all designed to help you bring your vision to life. Enjoy competitive interest rates, convenient repayment terms, and fast approvals from banks that understand your needs. Visit our stand and take the first step towards the home and lifestyle you deserve. Comfortable home starts with EcoBank. Be part of it. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank. Let's take a break. We'll return with more.
Welcome back to the AM show. Now, a reminder that the AM show is sponsored by Syntex Tanks. Syntex Tank, strong, tough. Let's delve into our big stories for today. And one of them has to do with an interaction with the Minister for Labour, Jobs and Employment. We know how the Labour front has become. I mean, recently the TEU-GH were on strike over something, a misunderstanding. They were calling on the Minister of Education to resolve. I mean, it sits in his ministry as well, so we'll try and pick his thought on. But recently, he traveled, and the reason why he traveled to Ethiopia was because he has been chosen as, for a very important chair. He is now the co-chair of the tripartite high-level session of Fair Recruitment Initiative Conference. But Doc, good morning to you and welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Maybe we start from this particular one. What's your job here?
In the...
Yeah, when you were the co-chairman for the tripartite high-level session on fair recruitment initiative.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to all our viewers. Essentially, there was a comprehensive view about labor ministers across board in Africa, and I was informed that, well, there was a visit to my office by the African ILO meeting, and when they came, they informed me about their decision to appoint me as a co-chairman with the chairman of the labor minister of Qatar, to be a co-chairman of the tripartite high-level session of the fair recruitment in the ILO in Geneva.
And this happened in May?
It happened in May.
Okay.
And subsequently, I was also invited to make a statement at the International ILO conference in the same Geneva.
Okay.
I did so on behalf of the country and on behalf of Africa. And then, based on that, the African Third African Job Creation Forum in Ethiopia, I was invited to also participate in that forum.
Okay.
And I went there. The whole conception about job creation is very crucial for Africa. If you understand the population dynamics, Africa now hosts the biggest young people in the world.
It's a youthful continent.
It's a youthful continent. And we are not developing commensurate to the population growth. And so we have excess labor, and excess labor because development is not, in line with the number of people who are emerging into the labor market. And so that's the reason why we are letting some go out to go and work. So it has become a terrible issue, as an issue that has to be tackled, because as we all know, existing labor without jobs to do creates a problem.
Yeah.
And many of them call it a national security issue. So we are in a difficult situation in Africa to make sure we bring up our economies to commensurate with the growing population, or we create opportunities for them to go and work rather than the way they go through the sea and die on the way, desert and all that. So it's a critical issue that we are tackling.
Okay. Now, you mentioned national security issue.
Yeah.
From where you sit and the statistics that you've seen, do you agree or disagree that it's a national security issue?
If you look at what is happening in the continent, if you look at what is happening in Kenya and even in West Africa, where as a result of lack of jobs, they find space to try to attack government and eventually create a national problem, you would know that it is a national concern. And if you don't engage your young people, they find a way of engaging themselves in ways that will not suit the status quo. Sometimes it is for them to go out and look for work by killing people to take their money or threatening them to take their money, doing all the kinds of things that are antisocial. So it is a national security issue if you don't engage your young people. But it starts from the kind of education you give them, the kind of training you give them, the kind of equipment you give them to be able to tackle the challenges of the day. And I think that it is something that has dawned on us to review our curriculum, to be more serious in the TVET programs, to expose them to situations where they can engage themselves, and to challenge them to be innovative in their thinking. A few days ago, I attended a program.
The DTI Jobs and Opportunities Fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the jobs opportunities. And I was impressed with the way many of the young people are taking the challenge, being innovative, being creative, and the institutions that are taking them through and helping them to bring out what is in them that is not in other people. And I went there to speak, and I told them it's important to recognize that God has created each of us differently, and that each in each of us, there's something that doesn't exist elsewhere in the world that you can bring out and then people will buy. And I cited examples of Elon Musk, Facebook, and all those people who came out with something new that we all are looking for. We can still have people like that. We are still having people like that all over Ghana, and that somebody should emerge to tell us he is the one or she is the one. So it is time for us to inspire the youth.
But in all of that, it is the support system.
Yes.
And the conditions that can encourage these people and support them to come out to really realize their potentials.
Yeah, that's why.
What systems are you putting in place?
That's why we're having the youth apprentice program, where you can, what you know, bring it out, take some resources, build it, and let's see how it goes. You know, we have various ways by which we want to bring out the youth by supporting them in the skills they know. And once they are up to the task, we find a way of finding them resources to be able to advance it to the next level. We are very conscious about that, and it is the reason we have all these programs, the Jumara programs and things like that. And once you go into it, it is not for you to just to end now. It is for you to think beyond the ordinary, to think beyond the present, and to see how you can invent and create something that, you know, can be of use to the nation. And it's also the reason why in my ministry, I want to launch, and I'm launching, a program that is going to test young people at the end of every year. Test them, find out what they can do, bring it to the public, expose them to it, let them know that the nation cares for them and is watching what they are doing. So
how's this going to be? Test on what?
Well, after the programs that are lined out, at the end of the year, we bring some of the best guys together who have invented something that is creating jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, who has invented something different? How is it creating jobs? How many people have you employed? What is the future of that? If we can see that such people are capable of taking it to the next level, you award them for it. So in the end, you know, people know we care for them and we want to support growth.
What's the name of this program, this project that you lined up?
It's not defined. It's not properly.
Will it be more like the presidential pitch we saw?
No, this is going to be an award to the best invented program.
Okay.
The best. In fact, we are developing it. It's going to happen in the end of the year.
Okay.
So once we fully develop the concept and it is agreeable, we will then publicize it. I'm just giving the broad mention of it, that what we want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it is fully done, our idea is to bring it on board, and you know, all those people who are beginning to get some support now, we'll see how in the end of the year, within 1 year, what they have done with their resources, how it has helped them. And I'm going to work with the Ministry of Youth and Empowerment to see how we can work together to create this concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if a youth is in Kumbungu and is listening to us,
yes,
in terms of the support systems that have been put in place to aid young people to come up with their innovations and entrepreneurial skills, what can he or she do to access these sort of support systems?
This support system is coming from the Ministry of Youth Empowerment. But I'm interested in how many jobs will be created as a result of what they have earned.
Okay.
So I would be more interested in the outcomes of what they have given.
Okay.
What has been given to them. So, and the job creation capacity of these people.
Okay.
And then we will see how we can award them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it means that you'll be following where the support goes.
Yes.
If you get the support, you are monitoring to see are you creating the number of jobs you said you will create?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And if you create, more support to come?
Yes.
Okay. If you
then
don't...
we will recommend you for increased support.
Okay.
No longer the basic support you are getting.
Okay.
You would have gotten something that would have encouraged us that, look, this guy, given the needed support, can create more jobs for the people of Ghana.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. But when we were speaking about the unemployment and being a national security issue, you gave us the Kenya situation.
Yes.
What is the Ghana situation? Because I'm sure from where you are sitting.
Well, the Ghana situation is being tackled fully.
Okay.
We have come to office and realized that the total number of young people who are unemployed range between 15% and more. We have taken note of that, and we have launched into it very aggressively, and that's how part of our effort is going to make sure many of them who are not employed here can be given temporary jobs outside the country, and when they gain some experience, they come back into the system well prepared to function. So all the jobs situations we have spelled out by the Youth Empowerment Program are only a part of the total effort we are doing. We are going to expand the public service, and we are expanding it.
So there will be more employment in the public service?
Yeah, there will be more employment.
Okay.
You know, because of the nature of the economy we have inherited now, we have not opened it up fully. We are building it up this year. It takes shape by the end of the year when the economy is stabilized, and then we open it up and give more space, you know, through financial clearance to many of the organizations to engage more people because of our effort at 24-hour economy to create opportunities for people so work can be a continuum rather than a stagnation in the process.
In the public sector?
In the public service.
Oh, so the public service will have the 133?
Not all of it.
Okay.
Many of them that have the need will do that.
Okay.
And the private sector would also be given space. Many of them have already applied to the 24-hour economy secretariat, and we'll see how we can instigate a process by which they too can increase their number of workers to commensurate with the 24-hour 133 program.
Okay. So this year, how many people will government take on? Next year, how many people do you think you will take on?
Well, it is not about the numbers we can provide now. It's about the exposure of the system for people to get in.
Okay.
We intend creating 2 million jobs.
For the 4 years?
For the 4 years.
4-year period.
It is our commitment. You expect, you aim high. Whatever happens, our expectation is that we'll create more jobs to tackle the key issues about unemployment and to engage our young people and to also make sure our economy is not just crawling, walking, but running.
Yeah.
Because remember that if you look at the data on the GDP growth in Africa, Ghana was like number 8. We got to number 10. Cote d'Ivoire was behind us and other countries. Now, they have taken over. 2 countries have overtaken us.
Okay.
We are struggling to be at number 10 now. Within the last 8 years or 9 years, it's not been very good for Ghana.
Okay.
We have fallen far below. We need to pick it up and get back into the stage where we can be one of the best developed countries in Africa. So we are looking at all that in totality. And you cannot get that done if you don't get people engaged working. And working means that expanding the economy.
Okay.
And when you create the opportunity for the economy to expand, you have the potential to have a good growth pattern.
Okay. But because you said you are doing limited, you're exposing the public service to a limited number of people, I thought that you have, or the number of people you intend to employ this year.
No, we are not saying that we are exposing them to a certain limited number of people. I'm saying that we are going to expand it,
okay,
create opportunities for more people. Though now, if the private sector is coming in to say, look, we want to do it, but we are afraid that we might not get the needed security. And we said, look, don't worry, we will still give you security. It means that you have to increase the police presence in the system. So it means that you'll be expanding the police sector. We may take people more than 10,000 in the
police service.
in the forces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the security service combined.
Yeah, I'm saying it will be more
this year. 10,000.
It's not necessarily this year.
Okay.
It's part of our commitment to increase the number of people in the security services to make sure we provide the needed security, to make sure there is enough security to police the operation of the 24-hour economy. Yeah. And also we would be looking forward in the other areas where we would require the passport office and other offices that want to operate 24 hours. We will provide them with also the needed security and increasing number of people to work in there, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure when the 24-hour economy managers are given the opportunity, they will give you a more exposed, intense,
But the unemployment rate, you say 15% upwards.
Yeah.
It should be exact, isn't it? Like if it's
we were, at the time we were taking over office, we have about 14.7%
unemployment rate.
Youth unemployment.
Okay.
And if you bring it down to 15, if you bring the youth down to 15 years, if you bring the average, the number of youth from 15 years, then it has over 20%.
Okay.
Yeah, of unemployed youth. And I tell you, I've already explained that the youth is the majority of people now. All over Africa, we have a youth a youth population. That sector has superseded our ability to develop in accordance. So we need to tackle it more forcefully. And that's why John Mahama's administration has created this youth empowerment ministry and given it a very strict, focus to tackle young people and to create job opportunities for them.
From where you sit, would you agree with people who say that it's because of unemployment that we have the galamsey at where it is?
Yeah, generally, I will agree with you because I told you when young people are not properly engaged, they find a way of engaging themselves. And so if they hear that there's gold in this place and you can go and dig and find gold at one point and gold is selling at this, you can easily get money and you can build your house, you can buy a car, they will dash there to look for it. They will die for it. Because, here is a young person who has just gotten married or is about to marry. His friend is married. He doesn't know what to do. His education is poor. He doesn't have a skill. What else does he do? Look for money. Where is the money? They say galamsey. Then he dashes there, destroys the forest, destroys the sea, the river, just because he wants to take something. So that's why building them, giving them skill training is important for us. And that's why our emphasis is there, that we activate our TVET programs, increase technology in the job and skill requirements, project them to go into the job market, and then find space for them. It is something that we are not losing sight of at all.
Do you believe that will help you fight the galamsey?
It will help us, but it's a combination of effort. If you are used to something, if you are used to galamsey as the only source of your income, it will be difficult to pull people away out of it. So we are using other efforts to bring them out forcefully, and the other way is get them alternatives. And getting them an alternative is one of the areas that many of them, after going through some research findings indicates that many of them want to leave, but they want to build a skill.
Okay.
And so we are working on that.
Okay. So it means that is backed by research.
Yeah, it's backed by research.
Which means that if at the end of the day you do all of that and it's not able to deal with it, then we are faced with a huge challenge.
Then you are faced with evicting them forcefully, aggressively. Because when you come to the point when the nation's health and security is at stake, nothing should stop it. The health of this nation is at stake if we are drinking bad water. The security of this nation is at stake if we clear all our reserves. And the economy of the state is at stake if what is sustaining the economy, the minerals, is hijacked by foreigners and people who will not follow our laws. Then you have to use every effort to make sure you restore the system to its normalcy.
Okay. Do you believe you can do this?
I believe so. I believe so. We can do it, and we are doing it. A lot of people have already left the Galamsey areas, and I commend the minister for efforts he's making. His submission to cabinet is very much appreciative, and I know that he's still yet to do so much.
Okay. You mentioned the job abroad policy.
Yeah.
Really, how is it like? How has it been formatted or put to ensure that we derive the maximum benefit out of this?
Okay, so I can see young people are in a hurry to join the system, and people who are also doing business are in a hurry to say there's space here, there's, you know. Now, we've taken note of all that, but in my ministry, I intend working with the Ministry of Youth Empowerment to fashion out a way, and we are doing it very quickly, fashioning out a way by which we can throw out a portal out in the system, and young people can apply. We interview them, get those that are properly qualified, capable, and then we expose them to the companies that will take the next level of them. We are working with the private sector, which is very important for us. So in the next few days, I'm going to get the people who are in it.
I mean, the technocrats or the technical guys?
Yeah, the technical guys.
Okay.
We are hiring a company that can work very closely into the system, develop a portal, and they have developed it already. I examine it, and I think it's very, very, very good. People can go into it. They can then streamline them, bring them out, give them to the Ministry of the NYE through the ministry, and then they will then interview them and get the kinds of people that we would require to send out. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of proposals and requests from outside the country, and we cannot take people out just like that. One of the things that caught the attention of the public, the international public, about what we are doing in Ghana is about my pronouncements to say that we will no longer allow young people to leave this country into the hands of people who will just use them and use them the way they want, to the disadvantage of the young people and to national disadvantage. I will want to sign memorandum of understanding with every company that is stepping in here seeking to take our young people outside. And we will cause the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to sign a bilateral with any country that wants to engage Ghanaians and take Ghanaian labor out, so that within the space of our law, they can operate in manners that will not be a disadvantage to them. We don't like the situation where young people are out there working. They are conceived as slaves or servants when they should be seen as working people. You know, so within the confines of our law, we will send them. And then the memo of understanding will also include the fact that they will be treated according to the existing labor regulations in Ghana. Once they agree to that and sign, then it follows them there. I have a program to ensure that we also follow up to make sure that they are not at any point in time at a disadvantage where they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this will deal with the more treatment we sometimes hear from, allegedly,
Yes.
from countries like Kuwait and what have you, where people are abused.
Yes.
Is this part of the strategy to ensure that this is dealt with?
Yeah, it's part of the strategy. In fact, when I came in, I noticed that my former minister, Honorable Pelpuo, yeah, had banned the export of our young girls as domestic workers to the Gulf.
Yeah.
I endorsed that. I endorsed it, and I made a wider pronouncement about it.
Okay.
And I think that is part of our commitment not to expose our young people to such maltreatment.
So that would not be part of the work abroad program?
For presently, we are taking it out. Unless we can be sure that they signed this agreement and will be bound by it, that they will treat them as workers, not as servants,
okay,
and not as slaves, and not to maltreat them in the manner we saw in the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm reading from ajoonline.com that the work abroad program has been launched with Romania as the initial destination for skilled workers.
Yeah, Romania has come forward.
Okay.
We are yet to sign the memorandum of understanding with them. They are requesting us to do so. They came here and they want us to visit them and then sign the agreement. But even before that agreement, I understand that they have approached the presidential, the Minister for Presidential Initiatives.
Okay. Okay. Special initiative.
Yes. And some process is going on.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's all going to be culminated into ensuring that we sign an agreement with them. We don't just want to take it up and move forward when we don't agree on very, very substantial issues, you know, just to protect our workers.
Okay. Would something be accruing to the state if the state is the one in charge of facilitating the workforce or labor from here to other countries? Okay,
right now, I have taken myself away as representing the states in employment creation and not to deal directly with the companies that are taking them.
Okay.
But
so
just
YA will be doing that?
YA will be doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, earlier you mentioned that when it comes to job creation, we know that the private sector is one important sector of creating jobs.
Yes.
And you are bringing in the 24-hour economy, and you say that you support the private sector.
Yeah.
Aside security, is there any other support that you'll be giving the private sector to aid them in creating the jobs that you're looking for?
Ask the question again.
I mean, aside the security that you'll be providing for these companies.
Yes.
You mentioned that they've come asking for protection. So you'll be giving them that security.
Yeah.
That would lead to the employment of some 10,000 people in the security forces. And I'm asking, aside security, aside protection, are there any other support you're giving them to boost them or aid them in creating the jobs?
If in running 24 hours, you are short of your capacity to do so, we will increase the capacity for you. We will support to increase the capacity for you.
Okay.
Including boosting up your company's capacity to do the 24-hour economy. Okay. You know, all those things, electricity supply, we are willing to give you more power to be able to function well. We are willing to support you in other ways that will provide enough capacity for you to do what you want to do.
Okay.
So it's an important area for us.
Okay. Will it include providing some financial support?
Yes. It includes that, supporting you to secure more funding, you know, and to be able to function effectively. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So those who are eager to go into the 24-hour economy, this is your time. You know, approach the 24-hour economy secretariat, have a discussion with them. Tell us what exactly will help you to advance the course of your business. Let's see how you can run the 24-hour economy. Let's see how many more people you want to engage. And let's eventually see how much production will go into the system. We want to boost this economy. As you produce more, export more, employ more people, there will be growth. And the nation as a whole is going to benefit out of it.
Okay. Moving away from employment creation.
Yeah.
But before, you remember when the National Youth Bill, which created a youth employment agency, was being debated?
Yeah.
I mean, there was cause for the fact that the National Youth Bill should be responsive to the multi-dimensional needs of the Ghanaian youth. Will you say that, in fact, after all these years, that is being done? That the bill, which created a youth employment agency, is living up to dealing with the multi-dimensional needs of the Ghanaian youth?
Yes. The bill or the law,
became a
the
law.
act,
Yes.
is giving us the legal room to operate.
Okay.
But the functioning of it depends on the LI, the legislative instrument. And if we want to do anything more on it, the dimensions are created in the law, and it's good.
Okay.
If we want anything more on it, we will have to do an LI that has the potential to explain the law and to bring it into functional ability.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the moment, we've not seen enough challenges yet. But I think that for the meantime, it's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's now look at the labor issues.
Yes.
I mean, since you came in, there's been quite a number of them. The nurses went on strike, teachers have. Let's start with the nurses. Where are we with that negotiation you were having with them?
Well, the nurses, that is the nurses and midwives.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have had a number of talks with them. They have had a number of talks with the Ministry of Health, with the Minister of Finance. They have sent letters to me. They have been engaged by the Labour Commission. Yet, they have not gotten to the point where they say they are satisfied. We got to a point when we were to offer them part of what they are looking for. And they said, no, they don't want part of it. They want all of it.
Okay.
Now, but we've been explaining to all workers in this country that you have it because you can give because you have it. If you have an economy that cannot give, you don't ask for what is not available. And so, and I agree with the Minister of Finance. We are in a transition period, a period when an economy run by the last administration had come down so low, which was below C minus, into something else. Now we have picked it up from below C minus, a bankrupt economy, to a C minus, to a C plus, moving to a B. Let us get there, and money will be available for distribution or for expenditure. If you cannot get there, and just at the beginning of your effort to get the economy back on track, and you start spending above your means, you will spend your capital, and the nation will be at its knees. Who is not happy with the fact that the cedi is standing strong against the dollar? We are happy about it. It's making us buy cheaply from outside. It's making us, giving us an economic respectability, and we are on foot.
Okay.
Running. If you decide to start fulfilling labor issues, which is a necessity, and which we are going to do, before you have the capacity, labor itself will be angry with you in the end. You give the money to them, you run into a deficit, you have a situation where the economy itself can no longer function the way it should function, and then the cedi will be haywire, growing above expectation, going down below expectations, and eventually the whole nation will be jammed. So you see yourself asking for more, because every time you ask for more, you take it home, inflation is high, you can't buy, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
Part of the advantage, which we explained to them at the beginning, at the talk when we were having the base pay negotiation, was that we are going to make sure the economy itself pays, without us saying we give you this. Look, now the cedi is down, the cedi is up, the dollar is down, the prices of items have fallen. prices of rice have fallen, prices of maize have fallen, the price of fuel has fallen. You can now buy it easier than you could have bought. Now, the extra money you would have spent buying it is now in your pocket. Without us giving it to you, the economy will give it to you by just being strong and functional in a way that is capable of taking care of the nation's demands. So give us space, let's do all these things, and then we turn around. So the minister says that, look, give us up to the end of this year. We would have done enough stabilization of the economy, we would have brought in so much, and then we can attend to all the needs that are in front of us, that are being brought to us. Okay. And I think it's a logical argument. And so we respect the nurses and their argument. They are very critical to our economy. And I think that these are people you don't tamper with or don't toy with. And so once you bring your issues, we will deal with it. But please understand us, that as we do it to the point when you can be satisfied, there must be an instrument capable of supporting it. Mm. And that instrument is the financial capacity of government.
So they agreed to give you the space to the end of the year?
They are, I believe they should. But I heard the Madame Perpetua's insisting that they want everything now. And talks are still going on.
Oh, okay. So talks are still ongoing?
Yes.
Do you have the firm assurance that we won't have any strike again from that front? Because that's a sector that if they go on strike...
We don't want a strike. The nation... You see, when you talk about a strike, people think that it's government that will suffer. No, it's the public that will suffer. Mm. Government means the public. We all are going to suffer. You go to the hospital and there will be no nurse there to treat you, which is a damning thing. People can die even before they see the doctor. And we don't want that. And that's why we are willing to go along with them.
Okay.
And it is the reason also why we want to do it progressively. And so the finance minister says, okay, presently we can do two things, your uniform and then your allowance. Let's agree to do that now so that we can tackle the other one subsequently. Agree with that. I don't know why they say they don't agree with that. You know, so it's not just about the government, nurses, it's also about the nation. It's about yourself. It's about all of us. So let's temper our anger with the needs of the people and allow issues to emerge that will support all of us.
But because you are the one ultimately responsible for them and for all of us, that's why they ask you that they put their request in front of you. You need to honor them. And that's why if they are declaring strike, they're not looking at the impact on the public, but the backlash that your government will suffer.
Yeah, so that is why we all have to understand. You know, when you get up and you say you pray for the nation, you pray for the leaders, it's not because the leader will give you something. It's because you want the leaders to lead a nation that everybody will benefit.
Okay.
Now, if you bring down the leader because you think it hasn't satisfied a particular requirement from you, you are bringing down the whole nation. So there is an integral situation.
Okay.
You can't, separate them.
Okay. And I guess you are having chat with all the unions to give you that space.
Yes.
They've agreed to give you the space.
No, the labor issues are dynamic issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring it up, they bring up something, so you continually have to have a chat, discussion with them. And let me commend CLOSAC. CLOSAC is also very angry. They want to come on board, and they also want to go on strike. And we are still talking to them, and I'm appealing to them as well, and the university teachers and university workers union and all that. This is a period we can absorb everything we are facing now until we can stabilize and respond to it. Yeah.
All right. Doc, I'm grateful to you.
Thank you
for coming on our show. But this co-chair, are you still doing something in relation to that? The co-chair for fair employment, are you still doing something on there, or you are done once the conference was over?
Oh, yeah. For the meantime, yeah, we are done for now. But at every point in time, when there's a need for us to take an action or to go for the next conference within the year, the two co-chairmen will have to go out there and monitor. Yeah.
All right, Doc. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for finding time to pursue the show. This has been the AM show. Dr. Rashid Pelpuo is Ghana's employment minister. He says he's doing everything he can to ensure that labor unions do not strike. Well, are you looking to do things differently, to level up your skills and get ahead in this challenging job market? You heard us talk about jobs a while ago. Now, statistics do show it's tough out here for university graduates with only a few landing jobs immediately after school. Doing things differently is what Design and Technology Institute, what we call the DTI, is all about. Now, DTI offers programs ranging from precision welding and fabrication, design innovation, which includes graphic design, sound engineering, animation, photography, amongst others, and entrepreneurship. Our programs are internationally recognized by the American Welding Society, the Pearson BTech, and the CityVet, so you can shine here in Ghana or anywhere around the world. So if you are ready to do things differently and chart your own path, check out DTI. Visit dtiafrica.com/admissions or call us on 0541693534 for more information. Well, this is still the AM show. We'll take a break here, but we have a lot to offer you here on the show. Do you want to buy your house or do you want to be your own home owner? You need to stay right here because we have very important information for you here on the AM show. We'll be back with more.
Many thanks for staying with us. Let's talk about the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair. And you know we only bring you trusted names, trusted brands in the industry. It is the premier platform for connecting real estate developers, building solution providers, financial institutions, consultants, and prospective homeowners. So, which company do I bring you first this morning? Ayuda Hub, Abako, Services Bebre. That one ought to stick with you. So in the studio with me this morning is Benjamin Siriano. He's the CEO of Ayuda Hub Limited. And we also have Vanessa Brown-Williams. She is with Customer Experience. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you. All I remember from the first clinic is Ayuda, Afbako, Services Bebre. So let's talk about it. And I want to start with you, Vanessa. I like to start with the ladies. Introduce yourself to us and introduce us to Ayuda.
Okay. My name is Vanessa Brown-Williams, and I handle customer experience at Ayuda Hub Limited. The name of the company, Ayuda Hub Limited, is the parent company and owner of the platform called the Ayuda app. So this company was just primarily established to design and build the Ayuda app, which is our flagship product.
Okay. And from my understanding of what the app does, it's like a services app. Everything you need in your home, every service you need in your home, once you log on to Ayuda, you can get it.
Yes.
So Benjamin, you tell us, you're the CEO of the Ayuda Hub. What gaps did you identify in the industry that made you want to bring this innovative way of connecting service providers and those who need these services together?
So the gaps we identified are many, I would say. And it comes from, first, pricing. We feel that most of our artisans and professionals as a whole in the country are not very good with pricing. So they tend to overprice and in some cases underprice. Secondly, we feel that our professionals need some training in selling their services. They've not been able to sell themselves very well because they do not understand that service is a process and the delivery needs learning to understand exactly how it should be done. So there are some others, but I would say these are the two key reasons why we wanted to develop this app.
And you have brought the solution right to our doorsteps. We commend you for that. And of course, we interacted with some of you during the first clinic. Now we are going to the second clinic from the 25th to the 27th of July. So let's talk about what motivated you to come aboard the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair, and what do you have in store for our potential customers, those who might just want to pass by and experience the Habitat Fair and all that. What do you have in store for them, Benjamin?
So
first, though,
yes.
the motivation for joining. This is not your first time sponsoring or coming aboard,
This
is
is the
it?
first time.
It's your
This is our
first
first
time.
time.
So what made you come?
So we've been doing a lot of corporate work. Most of our clients earlier were corporate people.
Okay.
And so we provide a lot of services to hospitals and a whole lot of facilities. But with time, we realized people needed some good quality services in their home as well. And we couldn't have chosen any better platform than the Habitat Fair, which is mainly about home ownership and people that are in the space of construction.
Right.
So we want to get to those people and then introduce our solutions to them.
Okay. So Vanessa, then let's talk about what you have in store for potential clients, customers, people who just want to come and pass by. On the 25th and 27th of July. I mean, from 25th to 20th, so it's a 3-day clinic, the second clinic this time. What do you have in store for them?
Okay, so we'll be doing app demonstrations.
Okay.
Basically, we just want to let Ghanaians know that the Ayuda app is just a simple go-to app that you can request for any service that you want. It's just a one-stop shop for all kinds of services, not for only artisans or professionals, and also register on the platform and be rendering their services to clients. So when they come to our stand, we'll just be showing them how the app works. We have 2 service levels. We have the premium and then the flex. We let them understand how the app works so that when they need to request for services, they can use the Ayuda.
All right. So all this and many more from the 25th to 27th of July. Ayuda is one of our sponsors for the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. And those who join me for this conversation, Benjamin Siriano, he's the CEO of Ayuda Hub Limited, and they are the ones who brought you Ayuda app. And of course, Vanessa Ban-Williams is a customer experience executive with Ayuda Hub. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you on the 25th of July.
Thank you, too.
All right. I'm still bringing you some more conversations on the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair before we get to what's happening in the trend. Stay with me. Okay, thank you. Let's continue our engagement with some of the brands and sponsors for the EcoBank Journeys Habitat Fair. And the second clinic is coming your way from the 25th of July to the 27th of July. I have with me representatives from Superlock Technologies Limited. Agboada Xavier Kofi is Senior Marketing Executive, and Jacob Kwashi is also a Marketing Executive, all from Superlock Technologies. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. So, I mean, we have been hearing about Superlock Technologies. If we're supposed to give an elevator pitch in a minute, what would you say about your brand that makes you stand out from the other names on the market?
Thank you very much, Xavier from Superlock, Senior Marketing Executive.
True.
Superlock stands for quality and security. When you come to building, after you have built, we need to come in and give you quality security doors to protect you. Aside the security door, we also have internal doors. We have the internal galvanized steel doors. We have WPC, which is 100% waterproof. Aside that, we also give you quality finishing. We give you quality windows, which is aluminum windows, 1.5 mm, oven coated, and so on. Aside that, we also give you quality burglar proofs. The burglar proofs, we have 2 types. We have the collapsible, the one you can slide open or you can slide and close. And then we also have a fixed. That one is also galvanized steel, oven coated, very durable. There is no way you have to be afraid of corrosion or getting rusted.
What I hear you say is that everything that comes with security in terms of doors, windows, you are the super people in that industry providing technology-based solutions, correct?
Yes.
I like that. So let me come to Jacob now. Jacob, you're also a marketing executive, and you're joining us on the 25th to the 27th of July for the second clinic. What do you have in store for our audience, those who might want to pass by? What do you have in store for them?
My name is Jacob. Jacob Kwashi. First of all, shout out to everybody using Superlock technology products.
Yeah.
Superlock, we deal in security doors, like you know. We deal in regular full balustrade aluminum windows. But currently, we are running a promo.
Oh.
Yeah, we are running a promo because of your Habitat Fair.
Yeah.
And I think our promo are going for the kitchens. Any kitchen product, any kitchen that you choose from Superlock, you have 20% discount.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
a whopping 25%
A
discount.
super kitchen. So
Okay.
it's Superlock. So
Yeah.
a super kitchen.
Of course.
Not just any kitchen.
Yeah.
Not just the kitchens we have in the market.
Super kitchen.
Yes, a super
That will stay
kitchen.
with our audience.
Yes.
All right. So, I mean, on the 25th, you will be there. You'll be exhibiting some of your products and you'll be giving these mouth-watering discounts to the people. I have a minute each for both of you to speak directly to our audience, invite them to come, tell them about all the mouth-watering deals you have coming up. And because I was with you, Jacob, let me continue with you.
Okay, so...
And that's your camera right there.
Okay, so with Superlock, we expect you to come to this exhibition fair because it has been a great one and it has always been great with Superlock and with the people that comes to the exhibitions. So we are giving 20% discount on all our kitchen that you buy. We are giving 20% on all aluminum products you buy, being aluminum window or sliding door. We are giving 20%. We are also giving 20% on all your wardrobes. We do wardrobes as well. We didn't mention that.
Okay.
We do super wardrobes.
All right.
A classic wardrobe that will give your home a classic finishing.
Thank you, Jacob. Mr. Agbada, what would you add to that in a minute?
Thank you for the opportunity once again. Shout out to our client and yet to be client. Superlock, we are there to protect your valuables. Aside all the products my colleague mentioned, we also have carport where you can park your car. We also have motorized gate, aluminum made. We have fence, and then we also have the wardrobe as we've spoken about. We also have water, which is water heater, instant one.
Okay.
Very portable.
Like for the bathrooms?
For the bathroom or for the kitchen.
Okay.
And then Superlock, we have quite a number of branches. We have Jowli, which is our head office. And then we also have the showroom, which is at Hospital Road, Committee 7 Traffic, EcoBank 11 premises.
Okay, great.
We also have Adenta showroom on the Dodowa Road. We also have Wager on the Kaswa Road. We also have the Takura.
Let's do it the easy way. Give us a number that they can call so that they can contact you for more information.
Okay, star 9999. Superlock, you deserve the best.
Star 9999. Hash or no hash?
Let me also add info@superlockghana.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So for all your information on Superlock, they will be at the second clinic from the 25th to the 27th of July. But if you want more information, star 9999, and you can get all the information you want. Or info@Superlock Technologies across all social media platforms. Thank you for joining us. Agboada Xavier Kofi is Senior Marketing Executive, and Jacob Kwashi is also a Marketing Executive with Superlock Technologies. Coming up next, I'll tell you more after this break. Welcome back. Let's talk about WILDAF, that is Women in Law and Development in Africa, and some of the really beautiful initiatives they have coming up. In the studio with me this morning, I have Esther Naankra. She's a board member at WILDAF Ghana. And Bilal. Bilal, please give me your full name. I don't want to mispronounce your full name.
My name is Bilal Malam Sani.
Okay, Bilal Malam Sani. And he is Monitoring and Evaluation Manager at WILDAF Ghana. So introduce us to WILDAF Ghana, or WILDAF, because I know the F there, or AF there, is for Africa, right? It means that there's a section for Ghana alone. Yeah. So let's talk about that. What do you do?
Okay, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
A very good morning to your cherished viewers. So WILDAF is a women's rights NGO, or non-governmental organization that seeks to promote the right of women and girls using law as a tool.
Okay.
So we envision a Ghana where women's rights are protected, promoted, and realized. Yes, and then we don't only do that by concentrating on only the women and girls. We also bring in the boys, because...
Case in point yourself.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So at WILDAF, we have 5 key pillars that we work with. We have one pillar that look at women access to justice, combating SGBV, all sexual and gender-based violence issues that are melted or perpetrated against women. We have a pillar, we have a project that is looking at addressing those issues. Then we also have women economic empowerment pillar. The women economic empowerment pillar is also looking at how do we get the women economically empowered? Because we believe that in a society where a woman is empowered, the society is empowered, the home is empowered, and then the whole globe is also empowered. So we also have the women empowerment pillar. We also have what we call the We Know Politics. WODAF is also keen at encouraging women, especially the young girls, to venture into political activities. So we identify these key, vibrant women, give them some training, capacity training to venture into politics. Then we also have the girls' empowerment. With the girls' empowerment, we go to the schools, catch them young principal. We go to the school, we empower the girl with both their assertive skills so that at least the lady or the girl in the school can also feel word empowered and also challenge the status quo when it comes to the positions that most men also take. And then we also have a network. WODAF is also a network that has over 350 network members across all the sister regions that we have in Ghana. And then these network members, we come together with a common goal and common ideology to empower women. The aim is to ensure that the woman or the women's rights are protected, realized in Ghana and Africa at large.
There's something really sexy about a man advocating for women's rights and justice for women. So, Bilal, great job there. Esther, let's talk about your success stories. I know there's a documentary that will air today. We'll get there. But looking at the 5 pillars that Bilal has already expatiated on, let's talk about whether or not it has met the Ghanaian woman at the point of their needs. So from seeking justice, victims of sexual violence, for the girls' empowerment, women economic empowerment and all. What have you done so far for the woman in Ghana right now?
To start with, I am a product of WODAF. So me sitting here alone should tell you that
it's a testimony.
It's a testimony, and WODAF is really working. I joined WODAF 25 years ago when I was very young, and WODAF has groomed me, giving me the platform to start. And today, it's marvelous for me to introduce myself as a board member, all out of WODAF. So I want to say that the success stories we cannot count because they're enormous. We have a lot of success stories. Looking at where we are coming from, looking at the We Know Politics, women we have truly helped to go into politics, and the young girls who are taking leadership roles in schools. In fact, the success stories are too much. Yes.
I like
when it comes to women.
So we just look at you, we can see WODAF and the impact that it's had on you. So let's talk about the Fair for All project. And it's linked to the documentary that we are going to be showing tonight on the Joy News channel. So we want to stay with us for that. What necessitated you to produce a film like this, Bilal?
Okay, so it's, when it comes to the Fair for All project, actually was hinged on some key areas. When we look at the extractive industry, women play a vital role in this extractive industry, be it cocoa, be it mining, bauxite, but they are usually underrepresented. And even in terms of payment, they are less paid compared to their male counterpart. So the Fair for All project comes in to bridge the gaps that exist when it comes to the unfair treatment melted at the women. So it is a project that has been designed by Oxfam in Ghana.
Oh, I know Oxfam.
Yes, through the Netherlands Ministry of Affairs to support women and also amplify the voice of women that are found within this extractive industry. The project is being implemented by 5 key partners in Ghana. So we have the Send Ghana. Send Ghana are concentrating on the cocoa value chain. We have the ISEP, we have CEPEL, we have Friends of the Nation, and then we have WACAM. These are civil society organizations or women's rights organizations that are expert in this field. And the WODAF come in with a gender lens. So WODAF look at, okay, when we talk about cocoa, what are some of the gender components that we can zoom in from that angle to ensure that women are well represented against their male counterparts? when it goes to the petroleum, when we go to the mining sector, all this things. So WODAF play a central role when it comes to all these three value chains. So
that's
the
what you're calling Fair for.
And then the documentary that is going to be aired today is going to project some of the key success, the challenges, and then also the professionalism and then the collaboration that exists in the implementation of the project. The project started in 2021. It's a 5-year project. So this year, September, we are folding out. But I want to share to the general public some of the key approaches or strategies, success that we're able to get out of the project, so that other partners can also learn from that to ensure that we move Ghana from where it is.
I like that. I really like that. Esther, so I mean, he's already told us what to expect in a documentary, but as board member, what do you hope to achieve by the end of today when people have seen the documentary? What is that central message that you hope that would have picked away so we can watch even with that in mind?
Okay, so the message here is the woman who has been empowered. When you watch the documentary, you see a woman who is sitting by the husband, and the husband is testifying of the change he has seen in the woman and the impacts he's seeing in the house.
Okay.
Contribution she's bringing financially, economically, and I look at it and I'm like, yes, when we empower the woman, it goes a long way. So you see a woman who is talking about having a cocoa farm, but then before didn't to talk to laborers, to get laborers to work with, they come there because she's a woman, they just take the money and don't come.
True.
You cannot do that to the man.
All right.
But through this project, the woman has been empowered such that she knows how and who to pick as a laborer, and then not give the money out. Come and work. After work, I pay you. That's what the man will do. But a woman, because the woman is a woman, she will give you the money. Oh, come and do the work. At the end of the day, they will not come. You see all the things in the documentary.
At 8:30 tonight.
8:30, yes.
So stick with us on the Joy News channel today at 8:30 p.m. We'll bring you the Fair for All documentary from WODAF. And remember, it's a partnership among 5 key CSOs, right? Yeah. Great. So those who join us for this conversation, we have Bilal Malamsani. He is Monitoring and Evaluation Manager at WODAF Ghana. And Esther Na Ankra is a board member at WODAF Ghana. Thank you so much for coming. And of course, we can't wait to watch the film.
You're welcome.
All right. And that sort of brings us to the end of the AM show this morning. But being it a Monday, we'll bring you Ghana Grows, Changing Narratives. And it's brought to you by MasterCard Foundation in collaboration with Springboard Roadshow Foundation. I did this with Samuel Kojo Brace, and my name is Sweetie Abochi. Bye for now.